In a world where nature's bounty grows in abundance, one precious commodity shines above all, endlessly versatile, universally applicable, touching every corner of our daily lives, closely intertwined with our most basic needs, intrinsic to our nourishment and sustenance. This is palm oil. We are IOI, birthed in 1982 from an unrelenting zeal, humility, and commitment. We have continued to excel with palm oil as the heart of our company. We have grown to be one of the largest vertically integrated and sustainable palm oil players in the world. Driven by a relentless pursuit of excellence and an unyielding passion towards efficiency, we are poised and future-ready. We stand firmly on our core values of integrity, commitment, team spirit, cost efficiency, innovation, and excellence in execution. We believe that innovation in agriculture is crucial for sustained growth. Armed with over 30 years of research and developments on high-yielding planting materials and a commitment to advancing agricultural science, we are known as one of the industry's high-yielding and most efficient palm oil producers. We are trailblazers in biotechnological innovations in palm oil. Our IOI Palm Biotech is a leading tissue culture facility producing superior high-yielding oil palm clonal planting materials. We continue to adopt more technological innovations to enhance our yield and increase efficiency in crop evacuation. Our advancement in automation and digitalization propel us forward, further enriching our operations. Our drive for more efficient use of resources lies behind our commitment to integrating a sustainable approach throughout the business. As a founding member of the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, we are leading the way in adhering to the highest standards for sustainable palm oil production, and we strive to sustain a globally traceable, reliable, and sustainable palm oil supply chain. Our drive to progress beyond conventional boundaries has led us to become the nation's first organic palm oil producer, requiring innovative new production processes using organic fertilizers. We have adopted numerous ways to reduce carbon emissions, minimize waste, and enhance energy efficiency. We have long regarded the utilization of palm-based biomass for value-added applications as an essential activity within the circular economy through our renewables business. Beyond our palm wood venture, we are exploring ways to minimize our environmental impact. We have introduced our group-wide climate change action initiative as our long-term plan to decarbonize our operations and invest in green infrastructures within our operating units. We are on track towards reaching our group-wide net zero target by 2040. Our resource-based manufacturing business, comprising the refining, oleochemical, and specialty oils and fats segments, plays an important role in fortifying our integrated palm value chain. We are the pioneer and one of the world's largest palm-based fatty acid and esters producers. At our state-of-the-art refining and oleochemical sites in Malaysia and Germany, we consistently deliver superior and quality products to our customers across more than 80 countries. We also own a portfolio of patents in pharmaceutical applications that underscore our dedication to innovation. Hand in hand we work together with our trusted partners to create innovative personal care and pharmaceutical ingredients and solutions for our customers. Through our joint venture partner Bangi, we also produce specialty oils and fats for the global food and nutrition industries, with operations in Malaysia, the Netherlands, USA, and the People's Republic of China. Embedding digitalization and automation in our resource-based manufacturing processes is in line with the Fourth Industrial Revolution's aspiration. We will continue to embrace innovation, utilize cutting-edge technology, and produce more innovative ingredients and solutions. Our people are the foundation of IOI's success. With a value-centric and inclusive culture, we strive to cultivate excellence in our talents and encourage diverse leadership. Prioritizing employee welfare is a cornerstone of our organizational ethos, providing a conducive work environment that extends beyond office walls. We have gone above and beyond to provide best-in-class benefits such as housing and other essential amenities. Our passion for human development is illustrated through our dedication to enriching lives through our charitable foundation. Our IOI Foundation supports education by building schools and providing scholarships and driving various community welfare initiatives. Our consistent efforts in sustainability and good management practices have won us numerous accolades and recognitions. With unwavering determination, we are transforming into a global sustainable palm-based and natural ingredients company, focusing on agricultural science and innovation. Together with our employees, customers, and partners, we will meet future challenges, exceed expectations, and continue to provide products and services of superior value. In a world fueled and sustained by palm oil, we are proud custodians of this vision and take pride in responsible, resilient stewardship of this prized commodity, palm oil. As we chart a course into the future, IOI's extensive expertise, our vibrant culture of innovation, and our unparalleled portfolio of products will continue to propel us forward. We are IOI. In a world where nature's bounty grows in abundance, one precious commodity shines above all, endlessly versatile, universally applicable, touching every corner of our daily lives, closely intertwined with our most basic needs, intrinsic to our nourishment and sustenance. This is palm oil. We are IOI, birthed in 1982 from an unrelenting zeal, humility, and commitment. We have continued to excel with palm oil as the heart of our company. We have grown to be one of the largest vertically integrated and sustainable palm oil players in the world. Driven by a relentless pursuit of excellence and an unyielding passion towards efficiency, we are poised and future-ready. We stand firmly on our core values of integrity, commitment, team spirit, cost efficiency, innovation, and excellence in execution. We believe that innovation in agriculture is crucial for sustained growth. Armed with over 30 years of research and developments on high-yielding planting materials and a commitment to advancing agricultural science, we are known as one of the industry's high-yielding and most efficient palm oil producers. We are trailblazers in biotechnological innovations in palm oil. Our IOI Palm Biotech is a leading tissue culture facility producing superior high-yielding oil palm clonal planting materials. We continue to adopt more technological innovations to enhance our yield and increase efficiency in crop evacuation. Our advancement in automation and digitalization propel us forward, further enriching our operations. Our drive for more efficient use of resources lies behind our commitment to integrating a sustainable approach throughout the business. As a founding member of the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, we are leading the way in adhering to the highest standards for sustainable palm oil production, and we strive to sustain a globally traceable, reliable, and sustainable palm oil supply chain. Our drive to progress beyond conventional boundaries has led us to become the nation's first organic palm oil producer, requiring innovative new production processes using organic fertilizers. We have adopted numerous ways to reduce carbon emissions, minimize waste, and enhance energy efficiency. We have long regarded the utilization of palm-based biomass for value-added applications as an essential activity within the circular economy through our renewables business. Beyond our palm wood venture, we are exploring ways to minimize our environmental impact. We have introduced our group-wide Climate Change Action Initiative as our long-term plan to decarbonize our operations and invest in green infrastructures within our operating units. We are on track towards reaching our group-wide net zero target by 2040. Our resource-based manufacturing business, comprising the refining, oleochemical, and specialty oils and fats segments, plays an important role in fortifying our integrated palm value chain. We are the pioneer and one of the world's largest palm-based fatty acid and esters producers. At our state-of-the-art refining and oleochemical sites in Malaysia and Germany, we consistently deliver superior and quality products to our customers across more than 80 countries. We also own a portfolio of patents in pharmaceutical applications that underscore our dedication to innovation. Hand in hand, we work together with our trusted partners to create innovative personal care and pharmaceutical ingredients and solutions for our customers. Through our joint venture partner Bangi, we also produce specialty oils and fats for the global food and nutrition industries, with operations in Malaysia, the Netherlands, USA, and the People's Republic of China. Embedding digitalization and automation in our resource-based manufacturing processes is in line with the Fourth Industrial Revolution's aspiration. We will continue to embrace innovation, utilize cutting-edge technology, and produce more innovative ingredients and solutions. Our people are the foundation of IOI success. With a value-centric and inclusive culture, we strive to cultivate excellence in our talents and encourage diverse leadership. Prioritizing employee welfare is a cornerstone of our organizational ethos, providing a conducive work environment that extends beyond office walls. We have gone above and beyond to provide best-in-class benefits such as housing and other essential amenities. Our passion for human development is illustrated through our dedication to enriching lives through our charitable foundation. Our IOI Foundation supports education by building schools and providing scholarships and driving various community welfare initiatives. Our consistent efforts in sustainability and good management practices have won us numerous accolades and recognitions.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Peter Chin Pha Kui. I am the chairman of IOI Corporation and also the chairman of this AGM. On behalf of the board, I welcome you to the 56th hybrid AGM of IOI Corporation Berhad, which is held in compliance with Section 327 of the Companies Act 2016 and Article 70 of the company's constitution. The conduct of this hybrid AGM is also in accordance with the guidance note on the conduct of general meetings for listed issuers issued by Securities Commissions Malaysia. Similar to the previous AGM in 2024, the board has decided that the 56th AGM to be conducted both physically and virtually in order to allow effective engagement with our shareholders. However, in the interest of public health and safety, shareholders and proxies experiencing symptoms such as sore throat, fever, flu, cough, or shortness of breath are strongly encouraged to participate via our remote participation and economic voting facilities instead of attending in person. I wish to thank all of you, especially those who make the effort to come and attend in person this AGM and show your continuous support for the company. We are pleased to be able to connect with you and answer some queries that you may have relating to the company and the agenda of today's meeting. Before we proceed with the business of this AGM, I will explain the conduct of the meeting today. We will start by putting forth all the resolutions. After all agenda items have been tabled, we will proceed to present our responses to the queries received from the Employees Provident Fund. After that, we will move on to the Q&A session to address questions related to the agenda items and resolutions tabled for approval of this meeting. We will first address questions from online meeting platform, followed by questions from the floor. The voting sessions will be open at a time which I will announce later during this meeting. Once the voting session is open, you may vote at any time during the meeting proceedings until the completion of the Q&A session. We will make every effort to address all questions submitted to us. For questions which are related or similar in nature, we will group the questions and provide a single response. For those present at this physical meeting venue today, kindly ensure that your mobile phones are switched to silent mode. This is to ensure smooth proceedings of this AGM. We kindly remind shareholders and proxies that photography, video, and audio recording during this meeting are not permitted. An official video recording of the AGM, however, will be made available on our website for public viewing after the event. As mentioned in our administrative guide to the 56th AGM, only shareholders and proxies who attend this AGM physically are eligible to receive e-vouchers in the form of Touch and Go e-wallet credits. The Touch and Go e-wallet reload pins will be emailed to eligible shareholders and proxies within 15 business days from the date of this AGM. For walk-in shareholders and proxies who are not pre-registered via the Boardroom Smart Investor online portal, kindly ensure to provide your valid email address to our administration and polling agent at the registration desk. We also wish to highlight that in the case of emergency, on-site shareholders may exit the ballroom through the doors located on the left of you. To ensure everyone is familiar with the necessary safety procedures, please take a moment to watch the following video, which explains the evacuation process and steps to be followed.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Le Méridien Hotel Putrajaya. I'm the safety officer of this hotel, and please allow me to take 3 minutes of your time to brief on the emergency procedures of this hotel. You are currently at Millennium Ballroom Level 1. In the event of fire or any other emergencies, you will hear a continuous alarm bell followed by an announcement from our public addressing system. In the event if it's a real alarm, then an evacuation announcement will be made throughout the hotel. Even if it's a false alarm, an announcement will be made informing that it is a false alarm. Please do not panic, do not run, do not use lift, and do not use the elevators. Stay calm as the hotel's trained emergency response team will immediately take charge of the situation and will direct you to the nearest emergency staircase. Our fire exits are clearly marked throughout the hotel, and there are 2 fire exit staircases which is located outside of this meeting room. Once reaching the staircase, walk down to the ground floor and exit out of this building through the main glass door. Our hotel emergency response team then will direct you to the assembly area, which is located about 80 meters away from the hotel lobby. For your information, the nearest fire station is located in Cyberjaya, which will take about 15 minutes to reach in case of emergency. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a non-smoking building. However, there is a designated area outside of lobby of this hotel for those who wish to smoke. Also be informed that the prayer room is located in level 1 and the nearest clinic is in IOI Shopping Mall level 2, West Wing. The hotel do have safety equipments available such as wheelchair, stretcher, crutches, and first aid kit, and please do reach out to us if the need arises. Last but not least, we do not have a fire drill exercise today, and therefore have a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, before proceeding with the agenda of today's AGM, allow me to introduce my fellow directors and members of the senior management seated on stage today. Starting from my far left, we have our Group Chief Financial Officer, Mr. 𝐂𝐞𝐫𝐴n, and followed by our Independent Non-Executive Director, Dr. Nisadurai Kalaniti. Next, we are honored to have our Senior Independent Non-Executive Director, Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar. And seated beside him is Mr. Vincent Tan, our Company Secretary. On my immediate right, we have our Group Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee Yao Cho, and followed by our Independent Non-Executive Directors, Dato' Kong Soy Lin and Dato' Zurina Pawangte. Next, we have Mr. Lee Yao Seng, our Non-Independent Non-Executive Director. And finally, our Independent Non-Executive Director, Mr. James Lim Tuan Oi. Also present at this meeting is Mr. Rajesh Balasubramaniam, the Auditor Engagement Partner from BDO PDLT. I shall now call upon the Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan, to confirm if there is a quorum to proceed with today's meeting.
Thank you, Tan Sri Peter Chin, Chairman. I wish to inform that under Article 65 of the company's constitutions, the quorum necessary for the transaction of business at the general meeting shall be 2 members present personally or by proxy or by corporate representative entitled to vote. And I was informed that for this AGM, we have received about 857 proxy forms and corporate representative certificates representing about 90% of the total share capitals for today's AGM. And with these proxy forms that we have received, and fortunately today we have physically registered shareholders. 5 minutes before this AGM, we had a numbers of 730, including our online ones, about close to 80. Now, and with the physical present shareholders in this room, which is more than the numbers of 2, I hereby confirm that the presence of the requisite quorum at these commencements of this AGM.
Thank you, Mr. Vincent Tan. And thank you, the shareholders who are here physically, as well as those who have registered online and our proxies. I shall now call the meeting to order. Ladies and gentlemen, the notice of this AGM has been issued and published within the stipulated time and advertised in the Star newspaper. If there are no objections, we shall take the notice as read. In compliance with the main market listing requirements of Bursa Malaysia, all ordinary resolutions set out in the notice of the AGM will be voted on by poll. Therefore, as chairman of the meeting, I hereby demand a poll to be taken on all the resolutions pursuant to Article 73 of the company's constitution. Please note that in my capacity as chairman of the meeting, I have been appointed as a proxy by some shareholders, and hence I will be voting in accordance to their instructions. Our administration and polling agent, Boardroom Share Registrar Sindiran Berhad, will conduct the electronic polling, while Quantigic Services Sindiran Berhad will act as the independent scrutineer to validate the votes cast at this meeting. We shall now play a video to explain to you the voting procedures and the functions available within the meeting platform, namely Boardroom Smart Investor Portal.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating in today's meeting and voting procedure. The poll administrator for today's voting is boardroom share registrars, and representatives from the scrutineers will also be present to monitor the polling process. As this is a hybrid meeting, voting will be conducted via an online platform that allows both physical and virtual attendees to cast their votes using their own smartphones or tablets, or at designated polling kiosks if you are unable to use your personal device. Physical attendees should scan the QR code provided on their instruction slip, while virtual attendees may access the meeting and voting platform via the link sent to their registered email. Enter the 12-digit meeting ID shown on your screen to join the meeting. Review and accept the terms and conditions. Log in using your username and password as shown on your instruction slip. To vote, navigate to the Voting tab on the left side of the screen, or at the bottom of the screen if you are using a smartphone. The resolutions and voting choices will be displayed. Select your voting direction from the options shown on the screen, for or against. A confirmation message will appear once your vote is received. If you wish to cancel your vote, please press Cancel. To change your vote, simply select another direction. If you are unable to use your smartphone or tablet to vote, you may proceed to the polling kiosk area to cast your vote. Present your personalized voting instruction slip with the 2D barcode issued during registration. At the polling kiosk, scan the 2D barcode. Your details, the resolutions, and the voting choices will be displayed on the screen. Select your voting direction from the options shown on the screen, for or against. If you wish to cancel your vote, please press Clear All. To change your vote, simply select another direction. Once you have selected your voting direction, click Next. Your voting summary will appear, and press the Submit button to submit your votes. A confirmation message will appear to show your vote has been received. Voting will commence once the chairman declares the poll open. You may cast your vote at any time until the voting session ends. If you require assistance, for physical attendees you may approach any usher station throughout the venue, while virtual attendees can contact the boardroom help desk at 0378904700 or email us at bsr.helpdesk@boardroomlimited.com. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
The voting period is now open for you to cast your votes. Please note that voting can be done at any time during the meeting proceedings until the end of the Q&A session. As for the submissions of questions, those tuning in online may submit your questions throughout this AGM by clicking on the messaging icon feature at the meeting platform. Questions can be submitted at any time until the chairman announces the closure of the Q&A session. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now present our group's financial performance for the financial year ended 30th June 2025. Allow me to invite our group CFO, Mr. 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐵𝐸, who is on the extreme left, to give you this presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. I now present to you the group financial performance overview for financial year 2025. FY25 revenue increased by 18%, which is due mainly to higher commodity prices. Profit before tax for FY25 increased by 34% to 1.88 billion ringgit. Excluding non-operating items and fair value adjustments, the underlying profit before tax stood at 1.62 billion ringgit, a 70% increase over the last financial year. The increase was due mainly to higher plantation profits, partially offset by lower resource-based manufacturing profits. Profit after tax for FY25 was at 1.54 billion ringgit, a 38% increase over FY24, whilst EPS for FY25 was at 24.51 cents per share. For FY25 segment profit, plantation business contributed 92% of the total segment profits, and increased contribution mix compared to FY24, which contributed 79%. FY25 plantation segment profit increased by 30% to 1.58 billion ringgit. The higher profit was mainly due to higher commodity prices, partially offset by lower OER. Average CPO price for FY25 was at 4,332 ringgit per metric ton, a 12% increase over FY24 price, while average PK price for FY25 was at 3,315 ringgit per metric ton, a 50% increase over FY24 price. OER was decreased by 2% over FY24. FY25 resource-based manufacturing profit decreased by 61% over FY24. While excluding non-operating items and fair value adjustments, the FY25 operating profits was at 149 million ringgit, a 49% decrease over FY24 underlying profits. The lower underlying profits was mainly due to lower contribution from the refinery sub-segment, with lower margins as a result of intense competition and geopolitical tensions, as well as lower share of associates' results. The group's FY25 balance sheet remains strong. The group has high level of liquidity, with cash and cash equivalent of 1.6 billion ringgit and a low net gearing ratio of 13.7%. For capital expenditure, in total, the group spends 691 million ringgit in FY25, a 2% increase over FY24. The increase was mainly due to ongoing accelerated replanting program. In addition, the group made a cash contribution of 87 million ringgit to Bangi Lotus Crockland for the ongoing construction of a new refinery and specialty fats manufacturing complex at Amsterdam. For dividend, the group has declared in total 10.5 cents per share for FY25, which is 1 cent higher than FY24. This is the end of my presentation. I now pass the mic back to Tan Sri Chairman for him to conduct the rest of the meeting's agenda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. KB Kong. This year, we'll be also providing a short update on our company's sustainability initiatives and efforts. Without further delay, let's invite our Chief Sustainability Officer, Dr. Surina, to share her presentation with us.
Thank you, Tan Sri. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much for giving me the privilege to share with you our sustainability journey going forward together with Sustain. If I could have my presentation, we can proceed. As I mentioned, last year, we talked about our revision in our sustainability policy, in which we stress governance as well as our climate strategy. So this year, we are looking into digitalization as an enabling tool for sustainability. We started our specific journey on digitalization in 2018, where we introduced the SAP ERP system for the plantation operation under the Sustainability Data Management Platform. We further worked on our IOI environmental sustainability data entry in 2020, followed by now the IOI ESG digitalization platform. So all these are all related to how we will monitor our sustainability data. Then we look into operational efficiency because we feel that digitalization is very, very inherent in trying to improve the efficiency of all our operations. So we introduced a whole series of upgraded systems and cooling towers to increase our operational efficiency. We were also concerned about the social well-being. We introduced merchant trade e-wallet in 2020. We introduced, for example, the online assessment using pre-alert grievance system for our workers. We introduced the IOI Mesra application to listen to the grievances of our workers. We also looked into environmental monitoring. We introduced, for example, the carbon sequestration, which began in 2024, and this is specifically to look at the areas within IOI that has been set aside for conservation. Next, I would like to also stress the fact that in line with the launching of our IOI strategic priorities, we have further looked into the key consideration within our climate transition plan. Under the climate strategy priority number 4, which is climate change and sustainability, we looked into making sure that our internal carbon price are being fixed. This is to manage our risk in terms of our decarbonization pathway. We looked into supply chain management because this is contributing towards our scope 3. We looked into the evolving regulation, and this is really important because there are regulations being put in place where there are carbon tax and carbon pricing expectations on greenhouse gas emission. Finally, we also looked at technological advances because we feel that technological advances will help us to anticipate how we're going to manage our greenhouse gas reduction. In terms of evolving market demand, we think that this would help us to put us forward as the company of choice because we have the proper strategy to address climate change, and this will provide also additional co-benefit because we stress on biodiversity and anything that is nature-related risk that we can implement to reduce climate change impact. So I'm happy and I'm very proud to say that in 2025, we managed to not only meet the target of 40% reduction for greenhouse gas, we exceeded it to 46%. So this is all thanks to the work of all the people within IOI, the operations teams, and everyone else involved in it. In terms of emission, the plantation remains the highest contributor, but it is also the one that contributes to its largest reduction. And you can see that in the table. You can see how much they have reduced, up to about 60%. And because of the fact that we practice circularity, introducing things like methane captures and installation of biogas engines and biomass boilers, we are able to reduce up to 98% reduction for the scope 2 in greenhouse gas emission. So going forward, we look at environment and together driving nature positive impacts. We looked at regenerative and precision agriculture. As you are well aware, we have organic palm oil a plantation, about 1,128 hectares, and we are looking to increase the hectares up to 3,500 by 2028. We have used beneficial insects to control issues like bagworm. We have introduced, as I mentioned, circular economy, and you can see that amount of recycling done in plantation is up to 99%, and in the oleochemical sector, we have increased the recycling rate from 56 to 62%. We are also mindful about safeguarding and managing our natural resources. We looked at water recycling alone and rainwater harvesting. We have recycled almost 268,000 meter cube of water for financial year 2025. And you can see that we are looking into recycling of our palm oil refinery effluent, and we have done that, and we have reused it up to 85,000 meter cube of treated effluent has been used for refinery and vacuum system and other cleaning purposes. In terms of enhancing biodiversity and ecosystem, which is very much part of our climate transition plan, we have already managed to rehabilitate about 445 hectares of IOI's conservation area for reforestation and rehabilitation. We have, as I mentioned, completed the carbon baselining for our IOI conservation and set aside, which is about 10,700 hectares for reforestation and enhanced biodiversity and ecosystem. Notwithstanding environment, we also look at social and well-being. Together, we want to empower progress with purpose. We looked at protecting our workforce. We are involved in a collective bargaining agreement where we look to increase the wages of our general workers and our harvesters. We are working with the International Organization of Migration, IOM, a United Nations organization, to develop a pre-employment orientation module for our Indonesian workers. In terms of occupational safety and health, we have looked into training about 4,645 employees on risk, operational safety, overall workplace well-being. Gender equality and diversity. I'm very proud to say that we have exceeded the requirement for corporate governance target for women on board, 37.5%, kudos. I'm very happy to say that at the corporate level, 52% women are at the managerial level. And out of that, 37.5% are heads of department. So again, as a woman, I feel that gender equality is up there. In terms of just transition, we looked into implementing social impact assessment, particularly on climate change and adoption of new technologies or any major operational changes. FPIC, the final phase of the IOI political resolution, is in process. We have received the approval letter, so we are looking to excise the land from to the Sarawak government. In terms of eradicating child labor, we have introduced, as you know, the full day zero cost additional educational platform, benefiting about 4,363 workers' children in Sabah. Finally, on community development, the IOI Foundation has contributed about 1.6 million towards 146 beneficiaries and individuals and organizations. In health and education, we have issued about 356 scholarships, and about 1,649 students have been adopted for the student adoption program. In my last slide, we talked about our performance and our recognition. Again, I am happy and pleased to say that we have won for the third consecutive time the Gold Award in the plantation sector for the 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐩𝐨𝐫𝐚𝐭 ESG Award 2024. We have received Gold Award for Excellence in Workplace and Wellbeing, won 2 awards for the HR Asia Awards, and achieved 9th out of 854 PLCs in Malaysia for Overall Excellence Award 2024. As you can see, not only at the corporate level, even at the operation level, we have achieved a lot of awards. The CICM Responsible Care Awards that have been received by IOI Pan Century. In Sustainalytics, which is a rating agency, we have managed to reduce further our risk analysis from 23.3 to 21.6. We have, for example, achieved a corporate governance a score of 4.0 overall, and we are the sole company among the top subsectors to achieve a perfect score of 5 for our governance in FTSE4Good. So I think that's all for now. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Dr. Zurina. Without further ado, Let us now proceed with the agenda for today's AGM. The first item on the agenda is to receive the audited financial statements for the financial year ended 30th June 2025 and the reports of the directors and auditors thereon. The audited financial statements are laid in accordance with Section 340 of the Companies Act 2016. As this item is for discussion only and do not require shareholders' approval, it would not be put forward for voting. Summary of the group's financial overview and performance highlights for the financial year 2025 are set out on pages 62 to 69 of the annual report. The business review of our operations is outlined on pages 70 to 87 of the annual report. For shareholders who are keen to read more about our group's sustainability matters, you may refer to our standalone sustainability report, which is available on our website. We wish to inform once again that the Q&A session will be held after all the agenda items have been read. The second item on the agenda deals with the re-election of Dato' Kong Soy Lin, who is retiring in accordance with Article 91 of the company's constitution, and being eligible, has offered herself for a re-election as a director of the company. Her profile is set out on page 91 of the annual report. Dato' Kong has undergone the relevant performance evaluation, including a fit and proper assessment for the financial year under review. Following the assessment by our Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, we are confident that Dato' Kong's strong financial acumen and analytical judgment will support in strengthening the board's independence, diversity, and governance effectiveness. You may refer to the detailed justification of her re-election on pages 284 and 285 of the Notice of AGM in our Annual Report 2025. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to take this opportunity to inform that I will not be seeking re-election and will be retiring as the non-independent, non-executive chairman of the company at the conclusion of this AGM. Accordingly, no resolution pertaining to my re-election has been tabled at this AGM. The third item of the agenda relating to the re-election of Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar, who is retiring in accordance with Article 97 of the company's constitution, and being eligible has offered himself for re-election as a director of the company. His profile is set out on page 90 of the annual report. Tan Sri Abdul Wahid has undergone the relevant performance evaluation, including a fit and proper assessment for the financial year under review. Upon assessment by our Governance, Nominating and Remuneration Committee, we are confident that Tan Sri Abdul Wahid's board leadership experiences and deep expertise will support the board's ongoing commitment to a high standards of governance, independence, and leadership continuity. You may refer to the detailed justification of his re-election on pages 284 and 285 of the Notice of AGM in our Annual Report 2025. The fourth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' fees, inclusive of board committees' fees, of Ringgit Malaysia 1.675 million for the financial year ending 30th June 2026, payable quarterly in arrears after each month of completed service of the directors during the financial year. The fifth item on the agenda is to approve the payment of directors' benefit other than directors' fees up to Ringgit Malaysia 350,000 for the period from 5th November 2025 until the next AGM. The directors' benefits payable for the said period comprises meeting allowances, insurance coverage, and golf privilege benefit for the non-executive directors. We wish to inform that the proposed quantum of directors' benefits is merely an estimation, and that a higher amount is usually proposed in order to ensure that the actual utilization of the directors' benefits is well within the limit approved by the shareholders. The sixth item on the agenda is to reappoint BDO PLT as auditors for the financial year ending 30th June 2026, and to authorize the directors to fix their remuneration. This resolution is proposed by the board based on the recommendation by our Audit and Risk Management Committee. Having been satisfied with the results of the annual assessment of BDO, we are also pleased to inform that BDO has expressed their willingness to continue in office. Next, the proposed ordinary resolution under agenda item 7.1 is to seek renewal of a general mandate, which, if passed, will empower the directors to issue and allot shares of not more than 5% of the total number of issued shares of the company for such purposes as the directors consider will be in the interest of the company. This resolution is also to seek shareholders' approval for the company's disapplication of statutory preemption rights under Section 85 of the Companies Act 2016 to allot new shares or to grant rights over shares without first offering them to existing shareholders in proportion to their holdings pursuant to the general mandate. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. For your information, the company did not issue any new shares pursuant to Sections 75 and 76 of the Companies Act 2016 under the general mandate, which was approved at the last AGM of the company. Moving on to item 7.2 of the agenda, the proposed ordinary resolution is to seek renewal of the authority for the company to purchase up to 10% of the total number of issued shares of the company. The details of the proposed renewal of the existing share buyback authority are stated in Part A of the circular to shareholders dated 6 October 2025. I shall take the text of this resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. For your information, the company did not purchase any shares under the authority given by the shareholders since the last AGM of the company. Item 7.3 of the agenda is to seek approval from the shareholders for the renewal of shareholders' mandate for the recurrent related party transactions of a revenue or trading nature, which are necessary for day-to-day operations involving the interests of directors, major shareholders, or persons connected to the directors and or major shareholders of the company and its subsidiaries. I shall take the text of the resolution in the notice of this meeting as having been read. The interested directors, interested major shareholders, and persons connected to them are set out in Part B, Section 12 of the circular to shareholders issued on the 6th October 2025. These interested parties, together with persons connected to them, shall abstain from voting on this resolution. The 8th item on the agenda is to transact any other business which due notice shall have been given. I have been informed earlier by the company secretary that we have not received any notice to transact any other business at this AGM. Dear shareholders, we would like to share that the Minority Shareholders Watch Group, MSWG, has not pre-submitted any questions for this AGM. We would, however, like to warmly welcome the representatives from MSWG to raise any questions, comments, or feedback at the Q&A sessions later. We truly value your continued interest and participation. We will now proceed to address the questions received from the Employees' Provident Fund. At this point, I would like to invite our Group Managing Director and Chief Executive, Dato' Lee, to address the questions raised by EPF.
Thank you, Tan Sri Chairman. So I would like to request the Company Secretary, Mr. Vincent Tan, to read the questions, and then I will answer them each in turn.
All right. Thank you, Dato' Lee. Questions, number one is, please provide the details breakdown of the fee structures and that applied for the directors' remunerations for FY 2025. Is there any change in terms of the fee structure compared to the previous AGM?
Okay, this is quite straightforward. So, and it's already given up there in written response. So there's no change, and detailed breakdown has also been given in the annual report. So, okay, next questions, please.
Please provide the clarifications on the audit partners rotations for BDO PLT, and if they comply with the MIA bylaws.
Okay, so as is stated there also, so according to the policy, so we can stay with the particular audit firm, but the audit engagement partner has to be rotated every 7 years. And then of course, the
5-year cooling off period is that to prevent, that means they have to wait another 5 years, and in order for us to reconsider them to become another cycle of audit engagement partner. So the current audit engagement partner from BDO is Mr. Rajesh Balasubramaniam. So he's assumed the responsibility for the audit in FY 2024. That means 2 years ago. And so he's still got some way to go. Thank you.
Question number 3, please provide clarifications if the companies have any immediate or specific plans or usage regarding the issuance of shares.
There's no specific plan because the company is quite well capitalized already. However, we envisage that sometimes when there's a potential acquisition target of a certain size, sometimes the vendor, that means the selling parties, would like to request for payment in shares or exchange of shares rather than in cash consideration. So this is a provision that provides for that possibility, and so that we don't have to, when such a request is given, and then of course subject to the board of members' approval, that we need to again go back to to convene an extraordinary general meeting, which will of course incur extra time and costs. And so we have not issued and allotted the shares under this provision for at least the last, as long as I can remember, maybe 15 years or 20 years. Yeah.
Question number 4, what is the purpose of the share buyback and the company strategies for the share buybacks?
Okay, so share buyback is to stabilize the price of the company shares. And so normally we will do the buyback when we feel that the price is undervalued by the investors. So when there's a sudden drop in the share price. So the company will only do that, and there's a rationale behind the company's exercise of the share buyback. So we don't necessarily, if there is no sudden movement of shares, we don't necessarily want to intervene in the market by doing the share buyback. So that is the idea.
Question number 5, please provide confirmations that the natures and the value of the transactions outlined in the circular to shareholders are the same as last year.
So this is about the recurrent related party transactions. So reason is recurrent is because it's the ongoing, it's trading of a trading nature. So that means there are more than one transactions. So this would refer to because IY is a plantation company, and at the same time we provide management advice to sister or related companies. So we have companies that are subsidiaries where I'm also a director, and therefore becomes related, and also to IY Properties Group, which during the demerger of IY Corp into the two separate listed companies, have acquired some plantation assets in 2014. And due to our expertise, so IY Properties Group or IYPG has requested our corporation, our company, to manage the plantation assets. So they are all the buying and selling of FFB in between the estates and the palm oil mills owned by the company. So in short, there's no change in this kind of transactions compared to last year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Lee and Vincent. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we shall now respond to questions that are related to the agenda items and have been tabled at this meeting. We shall first address questions which are pre-submitted by our shareholders prior to today's meeting, followed by written questions received from the online meeting platform. After that, we will invite questions from the floor. I shall now call upon our Company Secretary to read out the questions posed by our shareholders.
Thank you, Tan Sri Peter Chin, Chairman. We have questions from these shareholders, Mr. Teo. Will all shareholders attending the AGM, either online or offline, receive a 100 ringgit Touch and Go e-wallets reload pin as a door gift?
So actually, we have decided that only shareholders attending the AGM physically will be entitled to receive the Touch and Go reload pin as a door gift, and it's 50 ringgit.
Right. I'll go back to next questions, and by another shareholders. IRI Corporation is practicing discriminations of the highest order by not giving door gift to shareholders who attend the AGM virtually. We appreciate management correct this extremely wrong policy by giving door gift to shareholders who attend the AGM virtually. Many of shareholders are not staying in Klang Valley and are unable to attend the AGM physically. Yeah.
Okay, so this is like questions that is asked every year, and so shareholders keep asking, and I will have to keep answering the same questions. So of course, when you say door gift, it means people who is for shareholders who attend, who is at the door. That means attending the AGM physically. So the intention is actually to, and we don't. It's not really a gift for me. It's actually the Touch and Go, the reload pin is to compensate shareholders who incur traveling expenses when coming physically to attend the AGM. And of course, those actually you don't, the online, we have been providing these hybrid facilities for members to attend online. Actually, in order to provide these facilities for online attendees, actually the company does spend quite a lot of money. So I think it's about 50,000 ringgit just to cater for the online attendees. But nevertheless, so since the question has been raised and the complaint has been raised, so we will consider it, but probably next year, not this year. Because okay.
Question number 3 is by Mr. Teo again. What's driving the sharp decline in our share price? Is there anything we can do to help boost it? Dato' Lee, please.
So I don't know when this question was raised. Of course, in the last 2 weeks, the company share price, I would say, have gone back up to above 4 ringgit. So yesterday, I checked, yesterday was 4.07 ringgit, increased by 1% compared to the previous day or last week. So, but never, I think this question was drafted when the company share price was hovering at around 380 level, which has been for quite a while, since probably for at least 4 or 5 months before this. So it's back up again, and the share price, and I would say at this level above 4 ringgit, I feel it is a good, it's a comfortable level for a company's share price. Is there anything we can do to help boost it? So, of course, we have a investor relations department that not very big, so who meet the investors, fund managers, and institutional investors regularly. On top of that, the senior management team, including myself, we will meet the analysts and fund managers every alternate quarter when the results are released. That means every 6 months. So almost every time we meet, we take about 2 hours to answer all the questions, to engage with the analysts and fund managers. And lately also we have been quite active in the social media. So we use the Instagram, the Facebook, and TikTok to communicate many of the activities, many of which are sustainability related, which has been explained by Dr. Serena, to the wider public. So we are doing a lot. So I think we have done a lot to help boost the potential investors both present and potentials in knowledge of the company. And hopefully with that knowledge and interest, they will, of course, be interested to buy the shares in the company. So maybe yours can also help out. Not just we do it, you all can also help out after attending today's meeting and noting that our underlying profit has increased by 30% compared to last year. So this is, I think, a very good result. So you can also help to promote the company by stating the facts.
Okay, I will move on to the next question. Thank you, Dr. Lee. By this shareholders of 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐸, in your view of the current developments in Indonesia with respect to the government's actions, please provide your perspective and propose future measures to mitigate these developments.
Okay, so this is not very clear what are the government's actions, when you say mitigate means implying there's some risk there. So that may be relating to what the Indonesian government has announced with regard to the seizure of planted land or oil palm land planted on forest reserve. Yeah. So, but firstly, let me clarify, we have planted land in Indonesia. So far, none of our planted area has been implicated during pursuant to this announcement. But what is my perspective? So Indonesia is the largest palm oil producing country in the world, ahead of, in terms of production area, it is, let me see, it is almost 3 times bigger than Malaysia. So it's inevitable that if we want to grow plantation size, we have to go to Indonesia. At the moment, our hectareage in Indonesia is relatively small when compared to our large peers in the industry. So only about 26,000 hectares. Many of our peers, Malaysian peers, have got 200,000 hectares, even 300,000 hectares in Indonesia, the largest, our large peers. So of course we have been in Indonesia for quite some time already, since 2009. So about 16 years. And during the process, we believe we have gained enough experience to mitigate with whoever is the risk of operating in a foreign country. I think Indonesia is similar to any country that we are operating in, or we know, namely that overall the government is investor friendly. But nevertheless, they of course they always have policies which are to protect their domestic stakeholders and also to uphold the law and the law systems in the country, and we have to respect that and follow that. So doing business is always with risk. So, and we'll only consider investing in a new business in a new country if we think that we can manage the risk and the risk-adjusted returns is good. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll move on to our next questions by Mr. Ng Chun Boon. RI Corporation is at risk of being dropped from the KLCI index due to liquidity requirements. What step will the companies to take to increase this trading volume?
Okay, so far this comment has been given by one. I noticed only one investment bank, so that we are not managed to fulfill the liquidity requirements in certain months during the last 10 months. However, in October, I believe we have managed to fulfill the liquidity requirements, and since that report by the investment banks come out, so I began to actively monitor the liquidity, the daily share trading volume. So I'm glad to say that actually it has increased. So since then, so if the trend continues like that, I'm quite confident that for November we will fulfill the liquidity requirements. So the steps that the company will take to increase its trading volume, not much. Of course, one is we do a buyback, but that also has to fulfill the parameters which I've referred to earlier. For me, a more sustainable approach is to always communicate with the stakeholders, and which we have done, as I've explained earlier. So we believe this is more sustainable, and ultimately, with the good market fundamentals, indeed, the market fundamentals are quite favorable to our company because palm oil prices has been relatively good. So we believe that would help to boost the interest in the company, and therefore will naturally reduce the risk of us not meeting the liquidity requirements.
All right, thank you, Dr. Lee. I'll move on to the next questions by Mohammad Sharia. The board's 5 years strategy roadmap, 2025 to 2029, aims to position RI Group as a global leader in sustainable palm products and high value added ingredients. Could management please summarize the top 3 measurable milestones along with timeline and KPIs that we should expect by end FY 2026 and FY 2029 to assess whether the roadmap is on track?
Okay, so of course these questions will necessitate a quite long answers. So we have not provided a written one. So I will just try to give you all the answer slowly. So hopefully you all can absorb most of it. So when you ask about top 3 measurable milestones, so actually we got more than 3, but since top 3 is requested, so we will say first one is on plantation, which is our core business. So the top objective, the top targets is to increase our yield. And what is the target? So that, of course, how to increase the yield first, maybe. So of course, we have our own seed breeding, which I carry out since the 1980s. It means almost 40 years already. On top of that, we also have clonal palm propagation program, which also carry out since the end 80s. So all this helps to enhance our planting materials. Of course, the other part to increase yield is to enhance our make sure that we practice good agronomic practice. So what is the KPI for oil yield? Presently, our group oil yield is about 4.78 metric tons for Malaysian plantation, or 4.8 metric tons per hectare per year. For Indonesia, it's actually very low, only about 3 metric tons per hectare per year. So our measurable outcomes to increase the oil yield per hectare by about 3.5% for this year, because there's a question for FY 2026. But ultimately, at the end of 2029, we aim to cumulatively improve upon that and aim to target an oil yield of, there's a range, for Malaysian plantations, 5 to 6 metric tons per hectare per year, oil yield. For Indonesia, slightly lower, 4.5 or about to 6 metric tons per hectare per year. That's number one, plantation. Number two is oleochemical, another of our main business. So that is the target, is to improve the our fatty acid plant utilization in Malaysia. So right now, we are after our expansion, oleochemical plant expansion in 2021. So our utilization is now at about 63%. 63%. So a bit low. So we aim to increase that progressively every year. So by the year 2029, we hope to increase by about 20%. Sorry, the figure that I gave you was meant to be, the 63 was meant to be 2 years ago figure. So the current figure is about 65%. So we aim to improve that on that capacity utilization by 25% cumulatively. So by FY 2029, it should be around 77%. 77% doesn't sound that high, but actually it is it's quite reasonably high, because we are not a single continuous processing plant. So there's changeover and all that. So I think optimally maybe it's just over 80%. So 77% is relatively high. The third one is on the target under our 5-year strategic roadmap is it's our renewable. We want to expand our product portfolio to include renewables business, renewable. So renewable is mainly palm-based biomass. So one of the signature projects, which is quite recent, is we are converting empty fruit punch fiber into paper pulp. So this will be in Pahang, and we have started the takeoff. The construction is expected to take off in the next 3 months, and we expect to complete the plant in about 2 years' time. So it will be a 150,000 metric tons per year plant, and it's a joint venture, not just by us. It's a consortium of 3 parties, including ourselves. So by 2029, we should be able to finish the plant and also operate the plant for 1 full year. So that is the end of my answer. Okay. Next question, please. No. Still got some more questions. Yeah.
Has the board reviewed alternative financing options, example, asset monetizations, joint ventures, projects finance, to limit equity dilutions while funding our downstream growth? If so, which options are preferred and why?
Okay, so there are three options here. So first option is not preferred. Asset monetization is not preferred. So joint ventures and project finance is always considered. So we look at the size of projects. So typically, maybe I go one step back first. Asset monetization is not preferred because we believe that our net gearing today at 14% is still relatively low. So we have definitely headroom to increase our net gearing to, say, somewhere around 30 or even 40%, which many companies do. So for us, we are a fairly substantial company. So for small projects, actually, we also do not go for financing. So we will say for large projects, and by large I mean around more than 300 million ringgit. For large projects, we will go for project financing, and we will normally look at 70 or 80% external financing. And we believe this is quite a balanced approach. It will not result in equity dilution, which only normally happens when you issue shares. So I think our earning per share will also not be affected, because always when we go for new projects, we aim for IRR of around at least I would say between 8 to even 15% IRR. So it should not result in a earnings per share dilution. Yes.
All right. Questions number 8. Could management explain IOI's group policies on commodity price, hedging, and forward sales of finished goods, and FX risk management? Based on the current market outlook, do you intend to increase or decrease hedging activity?
Okay, I'll answer the second part of the question first. So today, market outlook, I think is palm oil price is always volatile, but I think today it's not more volatile than usual. So we intend to maintain our hedging activity. So what is our hedging activity or policies? So we have hedging policies. I would say our usual approach is to hedge all our positions. However, and that is particularly true for resource manufacturing, where the margin is measurable. So we do that. But for commodity trading, CPO, we do some hedging, but it's always with a prescribed limit. So the prescribed limit, there are twofold. One is a volume. We call it open, long and short. We call it volume long short position. So there's a policy that limits it according to the monthly turnover of the particular operating unit. And then, of course, there's a price, limit, where if there's a movement in price exceeding a certain level, of course, normally we only look at losses. If the losses exceeding a certain level, then you'll be escalated up to the senior management, including myself. So that is how we do it on hedging. Forward sales of finished goods. So we don't. So for finished goods, that means for our resource manufacturing, as I said earlier, we always hedge our position. There's no exposure. But for commodity products, CPO in particular, so of course, which we produce from our estates, we do forward sell. It will be up to 6 months forward sales, and there's a percentage as well, a limit. So it will be the limit will be up to, if it's 6 months forward, or 4 to 6 months forward, the limit is up to around 20%. And then when it's more immediate, the limit can be up to 50%. But generally speaking, actually we go far below that level, which I mentioned. And lastly, on the forex risk management, I think we don't take forex risk. Period. So we always cover our risk forward position because we believe that nobody can read the forex position well for our trading or our downstream business.
Okay. All right. Can I move on to the next questions by Mohammed Sharias? Has the group modeled the potential revenue and cost impact if a major buyer imposes stricter sourcing requirements within the next 2 to 3 years? What contingent measures are in place to mitigate such risks?
So model the impact if a major buyer. So okay, we don't have any particular major buyer that we feel that needs to be identified to be at risk. So we don't do that kind of modeling. But on the whole, what we do is we keep ourselves close to the ground. We improve we always constantly try to improve our group-wide sustainability effort. And so we have the net zero targets. So as has been explained by Dr. Serena just now, so we have carried out many activities, and some of them involving engagements with stakeholders, like Roundtable on Sustainable Palm Oil, RSPO, or MSPO, Malaysian Sustainable Palm Oil. So as an example, so I believe that is more proactive and effective also. So for example, from RSPO, so Dr. Serena is an alternative member, or board member on the executive board. So we know what's happening in the latest happenings within the RSPO on a global basis. And then MSPO, I just joined Alliance, MSPO Impact Alliance. So this is an alliance of, I think it's about 20 over organizations comprising plantation companies, consumer product companies, some NGOs, and even banks. So we joined this, and then together we again the objective is to promote the use of more MSPO oils and to improve the principles and criteria behind that scheme. Thank you.
Thank you, Dato' Lee, for that rather longish session. Those are pertinent questions which he has to answer. As we have addressed the pre-submitted questions, let us move on to the written questions received via the online meeting platform. Vincent, can you?
Yeah. All right. So I'll move on. And we are pleased to also inform that just now, as I mentioned, that we have about 80 registered shareholders attending the AGM online. Progressively, they have increased to about 230 shareholders in proxy. So I will move on to the first questions that have been submitted through this online platform. May I know what is the company's futures outlook?
Okay, so good. If you want a one-word answer, but I will elaborate further. Okay, so we are into, of course, we are palm oil company operating globally. CPO plantations is our core business, followed by downstream manufacturing. As has been seen just now by the presentation by the CFO. So a large part of our profit derives from the plantation segment. So last financial year, 91% comes from there. But in prior years, actually, it was hovering between 60 to 80%. So CPO price is very important to us, and I think you have seen CPO price remains strong in the last, I would say, since the beginning of this year, hovering at, maybe not since the beginning of this year, since the middle of this year, so at well above 4,000 ringgit per ton. Okay, but However, things go up and down. So due to the announcement, among others, the announcement that US and China have a sort of received agreement for China to buy more soybean oil. So partly due to that news, so palm oil price has dropped a bit. To yesterday, it was only below 4,200 ringgit per ton, from earlier on maybe 4,400, 4,500 ringgit about a month ago. So, but nevertheless, it's still a very comfortable position for our company because our production cost is after the palm kernel credit is below 2,500 ringgit per ton. So it's still a very healthy profit for the plantation segment. However, I don't have good news to report on the downstream. So the downstream is still challenging, and we still make a profit, 150 million underlying, but compared to earlier of 400 million, so of even 500 million is still, of course, is a sharp reduction. And we don't see that things will improve significantly in the next 1 year. So actually many other companies in this business are suffering a loss. So luckily we still managed to get some profit from our oleochemical business. So that is the overall summary. But our 5-year strategic roadmap, so we try to look beyond that. So for our oleochemicals, we try to go for specialty chemicals portfolio. So we have filed many patents, 26 patents, I think, in Germany for pharmaceutical applications. So we are developing that. And then for diversification also, we are going into coconut plantations. And soon you will hear an announcement, I think in the next few days, that we are going to set up a coconut processing mill complex. Because we have planted about 3,800 hectares of coconut tree, and in 2 years' time, it's going to increase to almost 5,000 hectares coconut. So 5,000 hectares, when it's fully mature, can give us a yield, coconut production per day, 250,000 hectares, 250,000 nuts, plus or minus. That to me is a huge number. That's one diversification. Of course, another one is palm-based biomass. So we utilize our oil palm trunk to convert into palm wood, which has been reported earlier. And the latest venture is the EFB converting to paper pulp, which also I explained just now. So these are how we try to expand our revenue and product portfolio for the company.
All right, so I'll move on to the next question, which is in that questions, they will have multiple questions inside that. So I will read it out. I think the first one is more on the next year operations, how was company will be affected by the new challenges in terms of the new law regulations to be implemented by the Malaysian governments. And the second one, I think probably will talk about the 2026 budgets. What would the company be much impacted? And the next is where's the growth and potential as catalyst for increase our profits or even revenues? I think the hybrid meeting, I think is in terms of I think good turn up, whether the company will still continue in the hybrid format of the AGM. And the last one is whether the company plan for the new listing of our subsidiary.
Oh, many questions. So I think the company operations view challenges, I think I already explained. So the important parts. So we also talk about our 5-year strategic roadmap. This CFO also gave some outlook for the capex which we are spending. hybrid meeting, we will of course keep it simply because Bursa Malaysia also dictate, regulate, specify that we have to do it. New listing or sub-company, there's no plan. So I believe I've answered the questions.
All right, so I'll move on, which is also, we have another multiple questions in one questions. Yeah. How was the company overcome under the outer factors of pythons affected the most ASEAN country? Some was over watering in plantations, flood risks, and also Malaysia are in earthquakes, some areas. And how was risk management and also business sustainability for the company? Does company build new upcomings with the anti-preventing earthquakes capability? Does company's next and comings remains company existing expert segment as core business, which means I think whether we will still remain in the core business, in short, yeah.
Okay, I think some parts I afraid cannot understand the way it's written.
Yeah,
so the last couple of sentences.
I think it's a typo, it's typhoon.
Typo,
yeah, typhoon, okay. Yes.
Okay. So Python. Oh.
Typhoon.
Huh? Or typhoon on Python. Okay. Maybe it's Python. How do you know? Maybe they have seen pythons in the plantations. Yeah. So
no.
Actually, our late chairman has seen pythons in the plantations. But former of late founder rather. So, but I have not seen so far. So in my 30 years in going to the plantations. So touch wood. So, okay, let's say it's typhoon. If it's typhoon, so that means weather. He's talking about weather. Yeah, so in line with our net zero, so we have a very, I would say, quite a robust climate action initiative. So we do assess GHG emissions from our operations. We also assess the impact of climate change on our operations. So floods is one of them, drought as well. And typhoon, so far not yet, because I think very luckily we are not in Philippines, southern China, Taiwan, where typhoon is of course very prevalent. And then, so earthquakes. So this is new, earthquakes. So yes, we have not considered earthquakes. Maybe Dr. Serena, you can include that. Yeah. So I know it's in Segamat there's lately, I think just yesterday, there was also some report incident of earthquake there. So we have a plantations there and also a palm wood factory there. So we have to be now monitoring this. And the last one, okay. I think it's already answered. Okay. Thank you.
All right, I'll move on. I think now this time will be very short question, I think, in terms of the questions. How is the recent Malaysia-US reciprocate trade agreement affecting our business?
Okay, so overall it's positive because so under the 1,270 something goods that are exempted from the 19% tariff. So palm oil is a prominent, palm kernel oil is a prominent on the list of zero tariff. So therefore it is positive. But actually we don't export much to Malaysia, to US from Malaysia. And so it's mildly positive only.
Okay, I'll move on to next questions from shareholders. Arif, does company plan to expand their land bank despite the current policy limiting land acquisitions, or choose to maintain and improve our yield at the current acreage?
Okay, there's no current policies limiting land acquisition as far as I know. Anyway, we always are looking out to expand our land bank, but not green sites, not unplanted one, but brown fields. That means partially or fully planted. So that would negate many of the risks on due to land issues like environmental issues like forestry, etc. And so we, of course, we also look at if it's in Indonesia, we always look at the social risk and the political risk. So political risk I've already explained earlier, and social risk is also important. So we are open to it, to expand, to acquire. At the same time, of course, we believe in a good prospect of palm oil and the limited availability of new land. So we also has embarked on our very aggressive replanting effort during the last 5 years to replant our aged palms with new materials, and in the process also we improved the replanting standards, the land preparation, for example, to enable mechanization to be carried out in the plantations in the future.
All right, so I'll move on to next questions. This is about the IY group has over the years diversified into several non-core or new business ventures, including coconut plantations, biotechnologies such as 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐻𝐨 therapeutics, our German operations, palm wood, and puff productions.
Okay, so
could the management please share the total investment amount allocated to each of these ventures individually? Yeah. Have these investments achieved their intended or targeted outcome to date? Please provide some indication of their performance, such as ROI or ROE. The last one, could the management please elaborate the long-term strategic potentials and the expected contributions of these ventures to the group's overall growth?
okay, good question. So again, this is testing my memories now. Okay, of course we say it's new business ventures, whether we call it non-core or not, okay, you may argue it's non-core, but you notice it's always an extension of our existing business, and or where we feel that we have the competitive strength. So coconut, why? Coconut because it's a plantation crop. So we have been planting oil palms as plantation crop for many years. Even the biotechnology is not something entirely different. So this is from our oleochemical components, which in Germany, which we develop it from our own R&D, and we put it in a separate startup type of company called 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐻𝐨. Palm wood, again, we are in oil palm plantations. They have, besides oil, another valuable byproduct is biomass, oil palm trunk, and EFB. So that's how we see it. Total investment amount allocated for each of these ventures individually. So coconut plantations, on the 3-year, they happen to have a 3-year planting mature phase also, same like oil palm. So I believe it's the total cost for the 3 years planting plus immature cost is about 26,000 per hectare. So times by 5,000 hectares, how much is that? 130 million. Yeah. Okay. So it's 130 million, but this over the last 3 years plus another 4 or 5 years to come. And then the factory, which I mentioned just now, to process the coconut mill complex, phase 1 is around 100 million. But we are going to expand some more as the coconut, the trees mature and we produce more coconuts. The next one is the 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐻𝐨. 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐾𝐫𝐡𝐚𝐼, so we are limiting the expenditure. So for every year, around 1 to 2 million euro per year for 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐾𝐫𝐡𝐚𝐼. Palmwood, that's already spent, so about 130 million or 30 plus million ringgit for the factory, but we have pre-operating losses of another about 30 plus million ringgit. Pulp production, it is overall 900 million ringgit, first phase for 150,000 per year capacity, but this is a three-party joint venture, so our portion is 31%, so about 200 plus million ringgit, but even then it's not, 70% of that will be externally financed. So that is the investment amount. B, have they achieved their intended or targeted outcomes to date? Okay, so some of it is still yet to know, but of course we always aim for the return on investment, ROI, of between 8 to up to 15% per annum. So, but Palmwood have not achieved that performance because it is a very new material. So the palmwood is very difficult to handle. It's a new market. We have to do a lot of promotions. Then and overcome a lot of processing challenges because palmwood has got a lot of sugar and liquid in it. C, long-term strategic potential and expected contribution of these ventures to the group's overall growth, which I believe I answered earlier.
All right. Move on to next questions by Mr. Yeo. Is the land planted legally obtained in Indonesia? Will IY foresee any corruption incidents as facing by Wilmar Corp?
So, is the land planted legally obtained? It's legally planted, illegally obtained, yes. Gone through all the procedures. That's why we, as I said earlier, on this round of this confiscation of land for being in the forest reserve, we have not been affected. Foresee any corruption incidents. So this depends on everybody, the management, and as well as the board members who will make sure that any such incidents will not happen to us.
All right. Okay, I'll move on to the next questions from Ms. Tan, Mimi. Dear Board of Directors, there are some vacant land in Johor and Sabah which are quite sizable, referring to page 272 of the annual report. What is the reason for this? Does IOI has plans soon to utilize it instead of keeping it vacant?
I need to refer for 272. Can someone help me? Oh, thank you.
It's the list of the property. The last.
I don't know why you say it's vacant land. Is the title say vacant land? So
once tangkap, I think vacant land, 2 hectares.
I don't. Okay, I'm afraid we have already set out the usage for the land, row by row. So only some vacant land is 2 hectares. Very difficult to answer because we have 200,000 hectares of land. So you ask me 2 hectares vacant land here and there. It's a bit difficult for me to answer. So some actually is what it says it is. So it is in the. Okay, maybe the one that I can answer is Lahadatu. Huh? So, what is that? Oh, okay. So you have prepared it. Okay, so here and there, very, very difficult. Okay, so I've been given I think we don't talk about few square meters. We talk about the Lahadatu land. So that is bigger, 2 hectares, 5 hectares. So this is a land that we bought, I think, 20 over years ago. So it's supposed to be near the port, near the Lahad Datu port, and we thought we wanted to have maybe a refinery there at that time, but because of the POIC in Lahad Datu, Palm Oil Industrial Cluster, POIC, but that did not materialize. So I think that's the main one. The others are all explained. Regional office, shop office, it's all explained. Okay, so that's all I wish to say.
All right. Chairman and Dr. Lee, although we have 2 online questions, which is I think just now we have answered it, so I will not going to publish it and read it. Yeah. So I pass on to Chairman.
Okay. Thank you, Vincent, and thank you, Dr. Lee, for providing the answers. If there are no further questions from our off-site shareholders, we will now receive questions from the floor. Kindly make your way to the microphone stands located within the ballroom to pose your questions. And for our record purposes, please introduce yourself by stating your full name and whether you are attending as shareholder or proxy.
Good morning, Tan Sri Chairman, members of the board. My name is Ismet and I'm from the Minority Shareholders Watch Group, MSWG. First of all, thank you, Tan Sri Chairman, for allowing me to stand up and raise a few questions. I may have missed the introduction a bit from you, Tan Sri Chairman, but you mentioned that this will be your last AGM and you will be retiring at this AGM?
Correct.
Tan Sri Chairman, on behalf of the shareholders, if I may, I just wanted to thank you for your leadership as chairman of this company since 2014. We have gone through a lot, and thank you so much for your leadership. Just to put that on record. Happy retirement after this.
Thank you. You are very kind. We are very kind.
Tan Sri Chairman, I just have a few questions. First, the question is with regard to your quality of earnings. We note that at this juncture, well done to the company. Profits goes up, top line is doing well, bottom line as well is recording very well. There was a net profit of 1.5 billion. Mostly is it include your FX foreign translation gain. But the question is, how does the management distinguish and prioritize your underlying operating performance vis-a-vis gains such as your foreign exchange or one-off valuation movements when you assess the company's financial strength and dividend capacity? You know why we ask this is because though we make quite good money, at the same time your free cash flow, which is about 358 million, and at the same time as well the company declared dividends at 620 million. Don't get me wrong, dividends is always good, but I just wanted to know whether the earnings may have been affected by non-operating cash items and that the cash generation may be under pressure relative to the payout. That's my first question. My second question, I just have 3 questions, Chairman, so not too long, is with regard to this cost of production. Well, we know at this juncture we have about 100 to about 200 hectares of FFB production. We note also from your disclosure to saying that your there's an input cost pressure. I mean, we understand labor, energy, logistic, these are all going up, and not just IOI, but a lot of companies are struggling to manage these costs as well. Just wanted to know how management is addressing these rising costs across your estates and mills, and what structural efficiency improvement are you working on to prioritize in order to protect your margin in the event of lower commodity prices, in 2026 especially. My third and final question is with regard to sustainability. Tan Sri Chairman, last year we raised a question with regards to gender diversity on board. Of course, there was some concern on why MSWG is raising this question, but I just wanted to clarify the reason why we asked is because we acknowledge the fact that IOI Corp has a good number of women representation on board. You are reaching about 40%. It's commendable, and not many companies are doing that. In many of MSWG's companies that we cover, which is mostly are small cap companies, they are struggling to even maintain one. And even if they have one woman directors on board as prescribed by Bursa, these are family members. But commendably, not for IOI, and the reason why we asked last year is so that we can use the explanation and the experiences that IOI Corp had to influence and put pressure a bit on these smaller cap companies so that they will then move to have slightly more women directors on board. But having said that, we also had one question last year with regards to human rights violation complaints that was recorded quite significantly higher last year at about 8. And one of the few reasons that was given was, it was because of not just sexual harassment. I think let me just quickly recap what was the response given to us. It was because of 3 complaints were related to rights to dignity and respect, with workers reporting issues such as the use of harsh languages, 2 cases inequality treatment, such as having preferred treatment, 1 case of refusal to treat workers who have hurt, and finally 2 incidences of sexual harassment. And the company also this year recorded quite a high number, which is 4, and 2 fatalities this year. Reduced, but it's still 2. It's not something that we should celebrate. I just wanted to know what were these human right violation complaints that the company has received, what happened to these 2 fatalities to the workers, and what is the company plans moving forward to address all this, particularly in adopting zero fatalities policy moving forward. It's important because I think that would not just affect the company's reputation, but we learned what happened on some companies on WRO previously as well. So Tan Sri Chairman, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure having you on board. Thank you so much and appreciate it.
Thank you for your question. It's made, eh? Yeah. So, okay, so there are 3 questions. The number 2 and number 3, I will delegate to the plantation director and also the chief sustainability officer later on. First one is on the, how do we see it on the overall cash flow management or in the larger scenario, the balance sheet capital management. So our free cash flow is, I think, is about from operations about 1.3 billion last year. Am I right? There about. Yeah. Okay. So let the CFO verify the figure. But that's from operations. Out of that, 700 million we spend on capex, and so we still have. So that is about. So still have about at least 600 million for
Operation
balance. Okay, and then of course another big payout normally for the company beside capex is the dividend. So we have a 50% dividend policy. That means 50%, we will declare at least 50% of our net profit, normalize the net profit available for distribution as dividend. So we have followed that. That resulted in the 600 million which you spoke about. Have you gotten the figure?
So the cash generated from operations about 1.4 billion last year. After minus tax, it's about 1 billion.
Okay, so before minusing tax is 1.4. So my memory is still okay. 10%, less than 10% difference. Then after tax 1. Okay. So yes. So I think it's quite a balanced. So I think it's quite a balanced scenario. We are comfortable because ultimately we look at the net gearing. We don't want to be zero. We don't want to be net cash surplus because you understand the interest deductibility for tax. So we want to have some gearing. We have looked at other companies. They have some the comfortable one by conventional financial theory can be 30 or 40% or 50% even, depending on the type of business you are in. So I think we are very comfortable. So I think that is the scenario, and I think unless there's a big acquisition coming up, then of course we have to relook at all the scenarios and our practice. So next is the production cost increase. How do we tackle that? Mr. Sudha, as Plantation Director, can you elaborate? Also elaborate about this, the third question, of course, on the sustainability, on the HR violation complaint, as well as the fatalities. So the fatalities, I think you address that in our group safety policy, which we have launched. And then Dr. Srina will answer the questions about the HR violation, the 4 from human rights from last year 7, or previous year 7. Okay, yeah.
Good morning to the board members and also all shareholders, my colleagues too. I'll answer the question on the cost pressure. Okay, firstly, the main driver for cost is actually the yields itself. Okay, if the yields are low, then the cost will be high. Right? So this is a primary concern for us. That is why over the last 5 years, the previous strategic plan and this next strategic plan that we are having, our main focus is actually driving up the yields. Right? So you will remember from our history that we have been the most efficient plantation company in the world, I can say, yeah? With the highest yields at one point when all our palms were in the prime. As you know, our late founder planted very quickly in Sabah in the 90s, okay? Mainly from 94 to 98, okay? 1994 to 1998. So all these were at the prime in the 2000s, the year 2000s, yeah? So that's when we actually hit the highest yields and with the lowest cost. And we were considered the most efficient plantation company at the time. It went on for a good decade, but subsequent to that, we have these same vibrant palms becoming old all at the same time. Okay, the big bulk of our oil palms became old, almost all at the same time. Right? So since just before COVID, we have been accelerating our replanting in order to improve the age profile. So while we were doing that, it's not easy to plant such a big hectareage, yeah? So we had to phase it out. And so we actually had to take the time. We did not have the resources. There were very few contractors, especially in Sabah, to handle large replants. So we did what we could, and COVID really overturned our plans. For 2.5 years, we couldn't manage the replants properly. Subsequent to that also, there was a shortage of people on the ground to manage the replanting. So it's been a bit slow, but the last 3 years we have picked up the replanting, covering about 8,000 to 9,000 hectares per year. That's the size of some small companies already, right? So we have been doing that quite diligently, and we are keeping up on track now. And we still have another 1.5 to 2 years more to go to clear the bulk of these old palms. So as you can see, having planted at such a high rate in the last 3-4 years, we have a lot of immature and young palms, right, that are producing 8 tons per hectare and so on, well below the prime yield age. Okay? So these will be coming into fruition, our maturity in the next 2 to 3 years, where we will see an accelerated rise in the yields itself. So you can see that, that we will be going back to what we were before, right, or at least close to it in the next few years. Right? And I'm very hopeful that this will be done, very swiftly, and also, with a sterling performance, yeah, from in the next few years to come. And I hope you all remain with us to enjoy the fruits of our labor. Right? Okay, regarding the accidents, we have had unfortunate incidents, of course, at our plantations. We are a very big company. We have 25,000 workforce, right, on the ground. And minor accidents do happen from time to time, but last year there were 2 fatal accidents. One was because of a crocodile attack in in Indonesia, right? And another one was due to mishandling of tools by our workers. Basically, they were carrying the harvesting pole on the motorcycles going from field to field. And I think in this case, two of them, one was a pillion rider. He was holding the knife on his shoulder. I mean, holding the pole on his shoulder with a knife, which is supposed to have a cover which we have provided, but he did not install it properly. And in fact, the knife should have been facing at the back. But unfortunately, the knife in this case was facing in front, and he hit some undergrowth when he was taking a corner, and that knife slipped and hit the motorbike rider. The pillion, of course, escaped. Right? So it hit his neck, and he died as a result. Right? So that was an unfortunate incident. We have since taken measures to prevent this by having detachable knives and giving them boxes and so on to carry these knives separately from when they travel from field to field. So those are the actions that we have taken. I hope I have not missed out any questions. Right?
So
Thanks.
on the safety, indeed, we know it's important, and we are putting increasing emphasis on it. So at our group steering committee meeting, which is chaired by me, twice a year, at least twice a year, involving all the divisions. So these are reported, the figures on the serious accidents, more than those involving more than 4 days of MC leave. And of course, earlier I did mention we have a group safety policy, and also those figures on safety will also be a part of the agenda in the board sustainability committee meetings. And so, Dr. Srina, you will elaborate on the human rights violation.
Okay, thank you so much for the question. Actually, we reported about the fatality incidents on page 75 of our NSS report. It talks about the incidents related. Now, regarding the 4 cases of substantive human rights, what we have done is that we have investigated. 3 of them involve sexual harassment, as you mentioned, and 1 of them on verbal harassment. This was between workers, and this has been resolved. There was no management personnel or any other external parties involved. So this is 100% resolved, so we are very happy about that at least. But we have actually consulted as well the workers regarding their harassment. Thank you.
Thank you. You have more questions?
Yeah.
Any?
Okay. As I said, it is open to the floor for Q&A. Anybody else? Yeah. Please state your name and whether you are a shareholder or proxy holder.
Good afternoon. I'm a shareholder. Name is Liu Tapoy.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to refer to a few. I've got a few questions regard to the annual report. Now, my first one is on the plantation. On page 71, it's stated that the group have acquired 648.5 hectares of a plantation in Kuna Estate. So I refer to the group properties. I think it's stated on page 268, because I see that the only new addition is this Baturong 124 Estate Kuna. There's a 2024 there. The book value is 311 million. So my question is, I believe this is also part of other estates, not just the one estate, if I'm not wrong, because this total is 8,000 hectares there. Yeah. So my question is, what is the cost of acquisition for this estate? And is it a brownfield estate? I mean, is it already planted with palm oil, palm trees, and then is it producing? That is my question. And then in relation to that, if I look at your acquisition of, you have acquired another subsidiary. This is on note 16.1, page 188. Maurice Sam bought this company called Plus Bumi Mas for 37.4 million. Plus Bumi Mas is principally involved in oil palm plantation. So my question is again, where is this plantation? because you just mentioned the company name, what is the size of the plantation, and is it brownfield? It has been completed.
Let me quickly answer the question. You can give more questions later on. So actually, they are one of the same thing. You are right that that's called Plus Bumi Mas, 640 something hectares, involving 40 plus million. Is it 43 or 40 million ringgit? So we use the company called Morrison to acquire it, but actually it is what we call Baturong 4, which is next to Baturong 2. So it is a producing oil palm, brownfield definitely, and the planting age is about 25, 26 years. Okay, so why acquire such old palms? There's a reason. Well, firstly, there's a reason why they want to sell, and secondly, the oil palm actually, even though it's old, but it's not that tall for its age. So we think we can still keep it for another 3 years, at least.
Oh, so that means the 648 acres only cost the company about 37 million.
Hectares, I believe. It's hectares.
I know hectares, but the cost of the acquisition, is it 37 million? Because you bought over the company, right? The company owns this 640 million, for 640 over hectares of land. So it's only 37 million, is it?
Actually, it's more than that, Amir, because there's debt there. So enterprise value is 40 million.
But total acquisition cost, roughly, including debt?
You want 44 million.
Only 44 million. Okay, good.
A bit on the low, only. Oh,
okay. Then I got additional question on I think you have explained earlier on about your, or rather the pressure that you all face from your resource base, I think more on the refinery side, because if I look at the revenue breakdown, this is on page 168, the segmental information. If I look at 168 and page before that, 167, that shows the breakdown of your the resource-based operations. Refinery, although the revenue has gone up to 6.4 billion, last year was 5.6. Last year we managed to make 100 million odd. This year it has dropped to only 2.6. I think you have explained a bit on the pressure. Maybe you want to share a bit what caused the really, it's like 100 million drop to 2 million. That's one. And then are we able to maintain profitability this year? I mean, I know it's difficult, refinery, we have a lot of issues, we write out in the papers, Indonesia and all that, right? So maybe you can share with us on that. So maybe you want to answer that first?
Yeah, I'm not going to answer it because I'm a bit tired. So anyway, joking. So, but there's a person in charge. We have Director of Commodity Trading, 𝐂𝐨𝐫𝐸𝐨. So he will answer your questions about refinery. Why is it that in spite of the increase in turnover, yet we had a reverse from profit of 100 million become is there a net loss last year? Okay.
Yeah. Good morning. Good afternoon to the shareholder and the rest of you, my colleagues and board of directors. I think the first thing to address there are two parts to your question, right? One is actually on the top line and one on the bottom line. So the top line, of course, I think is mainly due to commodity prices. When prices were high, I think definitely your top line revenue will go up. As regard to the bottom line, I think we had a good run the year before. I mean, the prices were in our favor, and production was, that time production was a bit low. We were riding on the high commodity prices. We made some money over there. But last year, there was a bit of anomaly. The market was very tight, so the nearby oils were more expensive than the forward months. So what happened was when we have manufacturing outfits, we're actually keeping stock. So when we are keeping stock, when the prices are what we call in our jargon inverted, we will lose the value when the stock gets carried to the next month. So it becomes very challenging for us as a manufacturer, because all the stocks that we are holding and whatever that we are unable to sell on time, it will be marked down for the next month. So I think that's the real challenge that we face in that. But of course, I think as you know, like you rightly pointed out, the margins have been declining. And of course, I think for us, as our job is to make sure that we are profitable.
Now is already November. How do you, based on the current operations to date, it's already 3 months into the financial year. Are we able to, make a profit this year?
Hope so. But at this current moment, I think we are feeling a lot of pressure that's coming out from Indonesia as well. As you know, I think the Indonesian refining capacities are probably more than double ours. So basically, when we go out to face the international markets, we're actually competing with the likes of Indonesia, who at certain times can be selling much cheaper than us. So we just need to time our sales accordingly. Yeah. I hope that answers.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Next question is on your associates, Bumi Tama. This is on note 17.2. Before that, I think give credit to the board company. This has been a very good investment. It's one of Dato' Lee is on the board, right? Yeah. So, it's giving us dividend yearly consistently. Last year 129 million, this year 121 million. Very good investment. My question is one: are they affected by the land seizure by the government? I hope not. That's one. And then secondly, trying to find out what is the market value of this company, because I think your valuation is only about 400 million. So what is the current? The year end. What is the because it's listed on Singapore Stock Exchange, right? So what is the value? Then in relation to that, this is related, since it's on the same page. Now BLC also doing not too badly, your associate company in US. I think like you see the turnover is profitable. How much was the profit? It was profitable, but unfortunately, it doesn't declare any dividends. Last year I think the profit was 647 million, if I read this correctly. 512 million, but net is 350 million, but the year before was 680 million, comprehensive lah. But this doesn't declare any dividend. Any reason for that? We are not getting any dividend from this company, although it's profitable.
The BLC question I asked Mr. KB Kong, the CFO, to answer. But first on Bumi Tama, yes, I sit on a board. We don't treat it as just a passive investment. So it's our associated company. In the early days when they were, of course, compared to us, they are relatively young company. But now their planting age is prime planting age. That's why the underlying profit is good. And so actually in the early years, our percentage is 32%. So in the early years, actually we give quite active technical advice. So for example, and I also visit their plantations regularly in the early years. Less so nowadays. So their plantation has grown into quite a big size, 120,000 hectares. So we are 170 plus thousand, 175,000 hectares. So I would say they are big. Plus their plasma, actually they are 190,000 hectares. So it's very sizable. So you're right, it's good dividend yield. Our holding cost is about 70 over cents per share, maybe 73, 74 cents, Sing cents. And I don't monitor their share price every day, very often. But about 2-3 weeks ago, it was more than $1. So 140. 140.
So that explains the value, right? I think I found it. It's 1.4 billion. The shares quoted outside Malaysia. Value. Okay.
We don't mark it up and down because we treat it as a long-term investment. So we don't mark it up or down according to them. Thank you.
The BLC, why no dividend?
KB. Why no dividend?
Okay, for Bangi Lotus Rockland, why they have not declared dividend? This is mainly because of Bangi Lotus. They have a large capital project, which is the new specialty and refinery project in Amsterdam. So what happens is that this project itself is about capex, about 550 million euros. So our shares, you convert, it's about 115 million euros. Our shares. So whilst this company is very profitable and the cash is coming in, so then rather than asking the shareholders for capital calls, they're using their own cash generated from the business itself. So for the past 2 years, they have been using their internal generated funds. But as the project is more advanced, so they need to make more payments. So that is where I think the next 1.5 years, there'll be some capital call from the shareholders itself, which we hold 20%.
So very conservative. So very conservative. All the capex is internally funded, no external financing. Therefore, we have used our dividend, the profit, to cover the capex, which is quite a large amount.
Okay. Yeah, just now I saw one shareholder. Yeah.
Okay. Good morning. I'm 𝐁𝐞𝐫𝐴, a beneficiary shareholder and also a proxy. Okay. First inquiry. Early on, there was some sharing about replanting of the palm oil trees. Do we have any benchmark if comparable to other similar palm oil listed company in terms of yield from younger trees, for our appreciation to appreciate comparing how well you do in relation to other palm oil listed company, especially in terms of having a better yield from younger trees that you have already planted. Okay, next query. This is on relation to what others have inquired about this MBSB research that flagged that on the liquidity. I understand that the research highlighted is failed to meet the 0.04% daily trading liquidity. Can I show? But you mentioned that in October you already met the target. May I know that actually how far short is IOI Corp in meeting this 0.04% liquidity? And actually, would it be okay if, let's say, the controlling shareholders just doing some trading just to meet up those requirements? And if, let's say, liquidity is really a concern, perhaps would be time for a company to consider some bonus issues or warrants to increase the number of shares so that there will be more liquidity. And perhaps another option is that also rewarding those who perhaps is holding 10,000 shares and above to get higher value or touch a good pin of 150 so that you have more transactions coming in. Okay. Next inquiry is relating to the token appreciation. As you mentioned that you will consider for next year's, for those attending online, we appreciate that you also can consider that beneficial shareholders being accorded the same consideration as shareholders with direct account, because both of them are actually the same beneficial shareholders, just that sometimes the beneficial shareholders have to use nominee accounts and end up being reflected as proxy, although they are actually the genuine shareholder. And perhaps you can also consider that those attending virtually, for those elderly shareholders who may not be that healthy to attend the meeting, and the company might need to make much more preparation for those elderly who are not well to attend the meeting. So perhaps they can encourage them attending virtually, and I ordered some touch and go pins so that at least can cover their lunch while they're attending the meeting. Lastly, just on admin matters. In terms of ESG, thank you for having a meeting at this location with good facilities. But I think even though IOI Putrajaya Mall is the largest mall in Malaysia, but it's still lack of good connection to rapid bus service, and perhaps something that really need to be looked into, which I already highlighted last year. Although we have rapid on demand, but the frequency is quite small, and the space is quite limited. And lastly, I would like to comment on the superb hosting of the meeting. I think in terms of effective engagement is one of the exemplary companies among all the listed companies. There hardly any company that even willing to show a safety briefing, and you do very well and very organized in terms of hybrid meeting, and you also introduce the directors clearly, and you have the annual reports available, and your company secretaries is an exemplary example of someone who is approachable and able to give a timely response, and I thank you for that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. How long did it take you to come this time to City Mall?
With the rapid transport
from your place, yeah.
coming is probably about 2 hours plus.
2 hours plus. Okay.
1.5 hours less compared to last year.
Yeah.
But return probably, I'm not sure yet, 2 to 3 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, some of the suggestions on the touch and go, the elderly attendees, I think you have also raised previous year. So we were, okay, so you have mentioned a few. Let me see. So the first one is the yield from the younger trees. So how has it been performing, our trees, as compared to other companies? Mr. Sudha, can you give some explanation?
Okay, thank you for the question. Okay, now regarding the yields, replanting and yields. Replanting is actually a very interesting topic. It will take you a few hours to run through everything. But then, let me just say that we have to compare like with like, yeah? So, there are areas with high rainfall, there are areas with low rainfall, there are sandy areas, there are stony areas, and so on and so forth. So, you need to have a measured look at when you read this data, right? Anyway, we actually are in the league table with all the MPOA companies in the country, as well as our own separate league for the Sabah estates, Sabah plantations. Yeah? So we get a lot of data, and I've been looking at this data quite diligently, because we have embarked on several initiatives in the last few years, which should actually put us right at the top, right? And I'm happy to say that we are at the top 3 when you compare, because I don't have all the data available to me. I have just the raw data, how much yield it is, right? Now, we come out very strongly in all areas, all states that we operate in, right? And for example, I think in the Dato' Lee's address in the annual report, he has mentioned that the first year we have actually achieved 3.5 metric tons of CPO, which is 20% higher than the older generation before, right? So that itself is actually a solid proof that we are actually performing a lot better than before. And on top of that, I would like to also say that the practices of replanting, like for example, some companies actually do high density replanting, right? Which means that they plant more than the recommended number of palms per hectare, which means the first 3 years of maturity, they will have much higher yield than ours, right? Because we go for standard replanting, because we know the problems associated with high density planting. It's going to be difficult when it reaches the 5th year and the 6th year and the 7th year, when people fail to remove the additional pumps from the fields, and then you see a plummeting of the yield. So we don't want to get into all that. We are being very practical when we do things. So we want steady high level of yield. Right? So I'm pleased to say that, to answer your question, that we are actually at the top 3 at the moment, comparing first year, when you compare first year plantings. And okay, if you're talking about yield per hectare, we have achieved right up to 20 tons of FFB per hectare in the first year. Even during scout harvest, we have achieved right up to 12 tons per hectare if you are familiar with these figures. Right? I think you can make your own judgment from there. Thank you.
Okay. So second question is on the liquidity. Huh?
Who are the top 2?
I did say we are at the top 3. We are also at the top. We are also number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Huh? Is it tongue in cheek? Okay, all right. So, on second question on the liquidity, how far short are we? Do you have the answer?
Hello? Yeah. It's the monitoring from daily tradings. With a fee flow of 45%, with a 0.04%. Actually, I think daily, we really require a minimum of 111 million shares, traded on the stock. So although we have 4 months that not able to met, so November is critical. So I guess with Dr. Lee just mentioned, so basically with the engagement, all this, I think that will be improved. So in short, the answer is that monitoring that is about minimum 111 million shares based on the minimum requirements on the liquidity test.
Meaning what? We are just a bit short, little bit short. Or
some months, yeah, be short. Yeah, so that's why we not able to pass the 111 million that thresholds in terms of the quantity.
Yeah.
Can you just explain? Is it like to get 0.04%, you need to have 111 million, and you are short like perhaps just 1 million of transactions, something like that?
Yeah, sometimes it could be short more than that. Yeah, so that's why to be safe, I think because it's based on the number of days in a particular month, so need to have mediums at least for that when come to that assessments. Yeah.
If let's say controlling shareholders, if let's say just few millions, if they just top up that kind of transaction, would there be a concern by Bursa, or is allowed just to meet the threshold?
No, you need to look at it cumulatively. Yeah.
Not sure, but controlling shareholder, you're referring to me. Okay, I'll ask my wife whether can you invest further or not. Okay.
Hi, I'm Chan, shareholder. Basically, I beg to differ that the annual report, when I came, lack of it, and they told me at the counter, there's only 400 copies to be circulated for shareholders. So I'm the one missed out on it. But I asked them to request for sending to my home, but they said that due to sustainability, they are not able to do that, So I'm not sure why this year is different compared to last year. Last year, at least they sent to our home, So I just wonder why you're not printing extra and giving to shareholder who specifically requested for it,
We do. I think for your case, I think I still have a spare one because on my own copy I can share with you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, the question now is on this Indonesia export ban beginning of this year through the GAPKI on the byproducts of CPO. So basically things like used cooking oil, ome, and these high acid residues are not allowed to export. I'm not sure how affected by IOI's operation in Indonesia, whether you can export the product or what are you doing with it? Are you complying with the Indonesian requirement, the policy, and how do you actually do export of this, but going through your Malaysian channel, you bring it to Malaysia to export it out or something? Maybe you can explain on this. Thanks.
Okay. So, okay. Someone is handling you the the annual report. But so in Indonesia, from Indonesia, we don't export or produce any sludge oil. In short, so we prefer to produce fresh oil rather than sludge oil.
So no
we
export.
are not affected.
No export of used
no
cooking
export,
oil.
no production.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, a question for Serena as well. Basically on the spent nickel catalyst, I'm not sure, is this also been exported or is only sent to the Jabatan Alam Sekitar for recycling only? So is that, yeah, maybe you can...
Nickel catalyst, did you say?
Spent nickel catalyst, because this is widely used in the oleochemical plants.
Okay, now for that I asked our deputy group CEO to answer.
Okay. Yeah, Mr. Tan Kim Hua,
yeah.
my good friend.
Your good friend, okay.
Yeah, we are on the ex-oleochemical side.
Oh.
Yeah, on the spent nickel, we actually send it to approved processing center. So this buyer, they have the license to reprocess it legally and environmentally sound.
But is it being exported at all or only locally treated?
Normally what they take it from us, they also send it for export.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, that means they take it to export, not IOI doing the export?
No, we don't do it.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Okay, yeah.
Afternoon, I'm Tan Sri Chairman and members of the board. I'm Ho. This is my first time coming here.
Thank you.
Quite a hassle to come here.
Oh, okay, sorry, you got one question about the public transport, the bus.
No, I drove here, but I got stuck in the jam there.
Oh, you drove.
Anyway, see, my question is on 3 areas. Just the first one is on the clarification on your cash flow. It doesn't give you any notes to explain. On page 163, what is this plasma receivable? What is this plasma? I know plasma refers to blood plasma, or in physics is is a high state of matter. But what is this? Just to understand.
Shall I give you a quick answer?
Yeah.
Okay. So plasma is the smallholder scheme that we maintain in Indonesia. So in Indonesia, it's compulsory for INTI owner, that means enterprise owner like us, to allocate 20% of the land that's given to us, set aside for smallholders. So what we have to do is not just setting aside the land, we have to plant, we have to come up with our own money to plant for them. So, but that is because you come up with the money, so the money is owing from these plasma smallholders. That's why we call it plasma receivables.
Oh, okay, thanks a lot. My next area is regarding your share purchase under treasury, page 163, I think. No, not 163, I think 158. Okay, you have the mandate to purchase shares, and you mentioned earlier that if the share price is valuable, worth it, and you want to reduce fluctuation, your company buys, and you have currently about 81.5 million shares under treasury. And you also mentioned that you have not purchased any shares. Didn't utilize your mandate last year, no, I think the previous year. So my question is, under what circumstances do you actually get a company? Because I understand that the major shareholder, like that's you, purchased over 26 million shares. And the price was very good, I suppose, because it went down to $3.40 something cents, and And your average price under your company's treasury share is about 380. I worked out the calculation. So my question is, under what circumstances does your company kick in to purchase the share? Because you also purchase the share, you will not want conflict of interest, or if two people are competing, you won't get a good price. So, and then you also have authority over the company. So how do you balance the thing? Can I have some understanding? So that I also know when to buy.
Oh, you answer now.
Well, maybe I ask that question later because it's unrelated. Or you want me to ask all the questions?
Yeah, better.
Okay, my next question is on the B50. I mean, Indonesia come up sometime next year. I understand. Correct me if I'm wrong, that they will have the biodiesel raised in the use of biodiesel, basically from the palm oil. So that will mean that the consumption of palm oil will shoot up. I mean, to turn into biodiesel. The price may go up, most likely it'll go up, since more will be consumed in the energy. So I recommend that your downstream manufacturing will be less profitable if the price goes up. But your upstream there in your plantation will make good money. But how do you see that? Because Indonesia would control that. And probably they will not allow so many people to export unless they fulfill the 50% biodiesel. So I'm not sure. I just want to understand how it affects our company and the industry. Like those operating in Malaysia, you'll be affected in this way. Your operation in Indonesia will be also affected in some other ways. Is there any restriction where you have to convert to biodiesel? That's my... And one final question is on the mechanization and automation. I'm just wondering, for all the plantations, they claim that they move into automation and mechanization improving, but yet your manpower requirements is in the tens of thousands. In your case, it's about 25,000. So the bulk of which are in your estates, in your plantation. So how successful actually you can automate that? Because you can be affected, because some areas lack of labor causes you problem. So while you are doing the automation and all that, you still face a lot of labor requirements. So how successful is this? And how much it improves you over the other companies? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions. On the share buyback, okay, so yeah, nowadays anything that you do is all very transparent. So I think what you quoted is correct. So thank you for reminding me. Sometimes I tend to forget. So I do try to, this of course something that remains to be discussed, but the way as you say, it should not be that I'm buying the shares and personally, and also the company is doing the share buyback. So for me, to avoid that, so I would say we have not done the share buyback for the last 2-3 years. So earlier years, when the company has capex, has a good profit, and the capex requirement was low, 400 to 500 million ringgit. So actually the company did quite a substantial amount of share buyback. Okay, so then stopped for a while, and then as the companies now the capex requirement is going up to 700 or 800 million. So I thought then, as just now the earlier shareholder said, the substantial shareholder comes in. That means myself. So buying the shares when I see the price is low. So that's what I did this year. So hopefully it's not in breach of any corporate governance. So that's all I can say. But for me, also there's a restriction. Just now, to reply to earlier shareholders' questions, why don't I do some more to improve the liquidity, buy some more shares? So whenever the company is undergoing any substantial transactions, business transactions, which is not yet announced, then I have to refrain myself from buying the shares. Otherwise, I will infringe the insider trading. So that's also something that is the restriction for me. So that's my answer to your question. On the so mechanization, Mr. Sudha will answer later. But there's a second question on the upstream, downstream, Indonesia, biodiesel. So biodiesel policy in Indonesia overall is, of course, good for CPO producers like us, or for the world. So because Indonesia is absorbed a lot of this supply for their own domestic use. So we are not in biodiesel at all. So we are not. So we are more benefiting from a CPO angle. So the upstream, downstream, I do not know where's your angle of that. But Indonesia, of course, in Indonesia we don't have downstream, only upstream. So again, we are not affected by the complexity of it. So, but of course, Indonesia upstream means that our CPO, because of the export duty on CPO, their realized price in Indonesia is lower than the realized price in Malaysia. So there's a factor. So on mechanization, how far have we done, and what is there what kind of reduction in labor do we see, Mr. Sudha?
Okay, thank you once again for the questions. Regarding mechanization, we have since the COVID began, when we were so short of workers, at one point we were almost down to 40% of our requirement. So at that point, of course, we suffered a lot, and we had to quickly learn how to deal with the machines, or incorporate machines into our operations and get the job done. And yet we couldn't really get out all the crop during that time. So you can see that in 22-23 our yield was at the lowest, not because we didn't know what to do, but we didn't have the resources, the labor especially. But mechanization already started helping it at that point itself. It would have been much worse had we not embarked on it. But you know, as it happened, we were desperate at the time, and we just grabbed whatever was available in the market and tried to fashion it in some way to ensure that it does the job, which did.
So in summary, what was your estimation of the reduction in labor of our mechanization initiative so
coming
far?
to that. So what I'm trying to say is that these machines are actually not really all that suitable for our operations, right? So and even worse is that there is no one size that fits all. One solution in one estate does not actually mean that you can also use the same machines in another estate. For example, in Sabah, most of the estates face heavy rainfall, and the grounds are always soggy. So what can work in Peninsula, small machines with tires, fail miserably in Sabah, right? So we couldn't just cut and paste. So that being the case, we were just hobbling along with whatever machines. Most of the vendors who took advantage of the situation just brought in any machine from China, and it was a hit. Okay, they could sell hundreds of them because everyone wanted to get into mechanization. So that's the actual story. So what happened since then is that we actually slowed down our mechanization, took stock of what we had, and actually decided what machines work for which situations, and we have been rolling out. And for West Malaysia Peninsula, we have actually mechanized almost all the estates. So you can see that our labor ratio has improved from 9 hectares, 8 hectares, 9 hectares at the worst time, to now some estates are even doing 12.5 to 13 hectares per person, right? In Sabah, it's a bit slower because the conditions are a lot more dire, and we need more time to actually prepare the land. Machines also cannot simply work in any kind of terrain, So you need to prepare the terrain, and that also takes a long time to to get done. And rainfall over the last 3 years has been horrendous. All our land preparation has also been affected. So we are actually making good progress despite that. And now we are going to battery operated machines as well in order to reduce the carbon emission and also to reduce the operating cost. So all this is actually picked up momentum now, and we will be getting better and better at this game, okay, as the next 1-2 years go by. Right? Thanks.
On that, I'm trying to understand how much advantage you have through the mechanization over more labor-intensive Indonesian operation, because if Indonesia continues to be more competitive despite your mechanization, how long more can we remain competitive? What happens if Indonesia play dirty and restrict more labor into Malaysia? What is the impact on our company? Can I have some explanation? Thanks.
Actually, that's a very good observation. Yeah, I didn't mention it just now, but part of the reason we are doing mechanization is also to start engaging local workers, which we have already started, because local workers don't mind working with machines so much rather than doing manual work. And we have actually started employing the locals in the peninsular estates where we have been more successful in implementing mechanization. So we are very aware of the fact that the Indonesians themselves, no restrictions as yet, although government does stop them from coming once in a while by reducing the quota. But despite the fact that we get these Indonesians, they are not very interested in working in plantations either. Right? So you can see that the moment their contract is finished, after 2 years they just want to get up and go off. Right? And they don't want to continue. And a lot of it is skill job. You need to be on the job for 4 or 5 years before you actually at your peak. And this is also a problem for us. So we are actually focusing on employing locals now. Right? So I hope that answers your question.
All right. I think we are now at 12:45. I propose that we have 2 more, maximum of 2 more participants in this Q&A. So this lady is first, and then the gentleman with the hands up will be second, will be the last. Is that all right? Is there any more, a lot more?
This one. It's okay. We'll answer brief. We'll give brief answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Please,
shareholder.
go ahead.
Ms. Yap. I just want to highlight the unhappiness about the pre-registrations, because as a shareholder, normally I attend the meeting, right? I no need to pre-register myself. But this one I notice, you set the requirement, you need to pre-register. So I assume is you want to have a better arrangement of food and other things. So it actually creates a stress and workload for the shareholder to do the pre-registration. Fine, I did it. But the problem is I come here, I have nothing. Because those that doesn't register, they took my food and my things, everything, so I don't have anything. So it's not fair. You get what I mean? If you mean, how do you feel? How do you feel? I mean, I think you should give a better compensation that those are pre-registered and fail to get anything due to the thing is out of stock and it given to those that didn't register. And although I need to wait for them to replenish and given a compensation voucher, but the voucher is only 50 ringgit. As far as I know, the restaurant, the food price is quite high. Unless you give me a higher, or else I don't feel happy, because I rather have a nice, yummy packed food, you see. And I was hungry all the while without taking my breakfast and then sitting here. I also cannot focus on the meeting while you're talking because I'm hungry. And also, I see at the back of the voucher, it says 7 days at 1 reservation. So I cannot walk in later to get my food, is it? Or how? Or can you get a better compensation? Or can you give double voucher or anything? Thanks.
Okay. We take note of that. I think the requirement for pre-registration is for more organized arrangement. But unfortunately today, I think to be fair, we have a huge turnout. I think close to about 800 to 900. So Then I think for this Ms. Yap, I suggest we liaise with my secretary because this we can address it, the issues. We have reserved, actually basically there are some, but just that which is from our staff, I think that can give away. For the, what they call the food voucher, I guess, the one we can talk to the management, we can address it later shortly, yeah.
Yeah,
Just probably,
yeah.
maybe after this one you come and see me,
Okay.
let me address
what
it.
I try to highlight is this is because of human psychology. If it didn't force me to pre-register, if I don't get it, I don't feel so bad. But I spend the effort, the time and do the things with it. I come here and you didn't prepare the amount enough for me. I mean, if you require me to pre-register, I assume I come here, I confirm I will get what I deserve to get. That is human psychology. I mean, if it cannot guarantee that for arrangement, it cannot do as better, why not you just remove the pre-registration? There's no point. And you give work for me to do. I need to spend time to go and register myself, you see.
All right, thank you.
You get the point?
Noted. Yeah, get the point. Yeah.
Noted.
Okay.
Yeah, next one, please.
Good morning. I'm here, shareholder. I got two questions to ask you. I'll start the first one and you try and answer. Then I'll continue with the second one. Yeah. Every year we came to your meeting, you only think of the people who own cars. How about people who come by public transport or use their own fate to come here? You never compensate them for coming here. You only give compensation to those who come by car. No? To my opinion, my opinion, I don't know what others would think. I think it's quite unfair, unfair and unpatriotic. You know why? Because the government is trying to encourage people to take public transport instead of coming with their car.
How is it that we treat those who come by public transport differently? We don't.
To my mind is that every time you come and register, no matter who you are, whether you come by car or what, you just give us $10 or $20 for transport. It's here. You don't have to do so many work. You register, you get $20. So that's more fair. Then you encourage people to come by transport. And if you don't give people who come by transport, public transport, you will encourage them to buy car. And then you will compound the traffic
Did you
problem.
receive the 50 ringgit touch and go voucher?
50 ringgit?
Yeah, he does.
No, I didn't get.
Okay, then you ask for it. Okay.
You should get.
Oh, you mean the just now announced one?
Not just now announced. Every year we.
The e-wallet, touch and go.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get.
Okay, so maybe you check and see.
Yeah, you have not got it yet, probably because it will be after the AGM. So probably can go to the secretariat to be assist it.
Okay.
So,
what's your next question?
Well, I think you will help the government, you will help the individual, and you will help the world because of climate.
Don't discriminate. Yeah.
Because of climate change.
Okay.
So I think you better start with this practice
Yeah.
Don't say you will do it, I will do it, and then you forget about it. Be fair to everybody. Okay. Okay, second question. How many plantation land have you in Malaysia and Indonesia? The encourage.
So
do you have more land in Malaysia or in Indonesia?
So Malaysia planted 176,000 hectares. Okay, plus or minus a couple of thousand because keep moving, keep changing. Then the Indonesia is the 26,000 hectares.
I see.
Sorry, that includes the 176,000 includes Indonesia 26,000. So Malaysia is 150,000 thereabout.
So if we want more plantation, you have to go to Indonesia to buy or just to lease or what?
To buy.
You cannot buy,
Cannot buy.
Do you buy land in Indonesia because no country want to let you own all of their land? So it's like, no, the Indonesian will lease you the land, and then give you a certificate of...
It's not freehold, Indonesia, not freehold.
Not
60 years,
freehold.
yeah.
Oh, okay, not freehold.
Yeah.
So
60
if
years.
if you were to depend on Indonesia, do you think one day you'll be held as hostages to them? In case of hostility that will break out. No, then it's very dangerous to your company.
Okay.
See? Then also all their plantation, you hire all the workers from Indonesia. So if there's any hostility, they call back their worker, then what will you do? What will you do? See?
Yeah, indeed there's risk lah.
Yeah, because all our land, plantation land in Malaysia, is all converted into commercial and all that.
So there's a risk. So
yeah, that's a risk.
Even I go visit also there's a risk.
Yeah.
So I'm so worried now.
So what are you going to do?
Hostage and so never mind, I will assess the risk.
Now the company have the long-term plan to avoid all this complication.
That means don't do anything. Don't buy anything.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right.
All right, next one,
Okay.
yes. Yeah, last.
Mr. Chairman, Board of Directors, my fellow shareholders, my name is Munandi Krishnan, member. Very good afternoon. My question, most of the questions, I brought 5 questions, almost all are answered, except one I need to have some clarification. So the 2 hectares and 5 hectares in Sabah front, so the carrying value is very less, but it was bought in 1993 and now it's 2025. It's almost 30 over years. It has been just idling. I know for the purpose, what purpose you have already, that our Dato MD has mentioned, that I clearly understand. But how long you are going to have this vacant land? Just idle. So in case if you leave it as idle, it is also, it reflects our sustainability on land. Okay? Right. This is what that I would like to have more clarification, because just now you was giving that MD has given a good explanation, but still I need a little bit of clarity what you are going to do. Okay? Because now, Sri Chairman, you are going to retire. So, it has been almost so many years with Sri Chairman, but I don't know what is the next management is going to do about it. Okay, this is my request.
Okay.
As a retired teacher, I would like to, I've heard a lot about Sri. So why can't you have one biography so that the youngsters, because how you stride to a higher level of this, to form this company and so forth, it may be inspiring. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. Oh, you want to answer?
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, just quick one.
No, I have to answer the question. So,
okay, sorry.
So, okay, I think I have to admit that I have not looked on these few hectares of land in the last few years. So earlier on, we did try to advertise, and I used to ask what's happening, etc. But so I've forgotten about it. Luckily, you all reminded me. So I will now remind the plantation director and your Lahadatu GM to look at how to dispose of this land. So it's a bit on the slopey side of the land. It's not so it's not like a very attractive land. So we have to find ways to dispose of it. So
okay, last one, last.
So okay.
Okay. I just wonder, with this 2% contribution to EPF for foreign workers, how much increase in your monthly labor costs with effect for operations in Malaysia. And the rest is just related to what people mentioned earlier. On your Datu land, perhaps you can also look whether you got rare earth or gold before you dispose them. And also, I just wonder, like, do you provide a visit to your palm oil processing? Because I always wonder, like, how difficult it is to process from the palm oil seeds to cooking oil. If let's say I want to do it myself, is it very, very difficult? Yeah. And just to share, Dato', you mentioned about you have to be careful in Indonesia. Yeah, I think so, because they, not mistaken, they tax on the worldwide income. If you consider resident on that, I'm not sure whether IOI Corp might end up to pay all your income tax in Indonesia. And as what my fellow shareholder mentioned earlier on, I think perhaps he was comparing, like, perhaps if you can pay for parking for people who bring the cars, perhaps something equivalent for those taking public transport. That's all. Thank you.
Okay. So I cannot remember all your questions. So it's too many. Okay.
Just the 2% EPF and the visit to processing of the.
All right. So actually, you want to ask, of course, if you say what is the increase in labor cost, is very obvious, 2% plus 2%. But if you want to ask about overall cost of production, that what is the 2% impact, I would say is small, well below 1% of our total production cost. Maybe even less than 0.5%. So visit to our processing units, unfortunately, we don't open it to public or even shareholders, because just like today, 800 over shareholders turn up. So yeah, we have to let our team focus on what they do, production, and because it takes a lot of time to organize all these visits.
Okay. May I just say thank you, a big thank you very much to all the questions that have been forwarded to the board at this AGM, both those offline, off-site, those at home, and those who have pre-submitted questions, and of course, those who are asking questions at this venue yourself. You turn up and you ask questions. It shows that you are careful, and you have a lot of thoughts about the company and that you want to contribute constructively. Thank you very much. Now, at this juncture, and before the conclusion of today's AGM, the next session will be going into the voting of the resolutions. I would like to take this opportunity to express my heartiest gratitude for the opportunity to serve on the board of this esteemed company. Not finished yet. It has been a privilege and an honor to serve as a member of the IOI Corp board, and since 2014. So that makes it about 11 years with the company. Something that I have never, in my wildest dream, think about, after I have retired from government service. I must thank the Lee family, headed by Tan Sri, Dato Sri, the late Tan Sri, Dato Lee, Dato Sri Lee Shin Chin, who have been the founder, as you know, of this company and had been known to me for many years. So I thank him and his family for giving me this opportunity. I happily joined the board after I retired from government service as a non-executive, as an independent and non-executive director. I have worked well with my colleagues here in the board, and of course with the support of the late Tan Sri when he was chairman, and of course now with the board members here, I have found that it is very rewarding to be amongst the private sector, the leaders of the private sector, and whom I must say, with all clarity and confirmation with you as the shareholders, that they are all very professional. And this is the reason why the company is doing well, because of their professionalism, their concentration on their work in whatever capacity. They have been working very hard. And to that, I, as a chairman, I must say, I go on the right with them, because they are so good. They are very professional. And I must thank the management under Dato' Lee. They are also very professional, as you can have heard some of them this morning. So with that sort of commitment to the company and their work, I am quite sure this company will go on to do much better into the future. And this morning, I would just like to say that there is this good collaboration, and the guys who are joining the board are all good people, very experienced. And now we can see from the sitting here with me, they are all very professional and lots of experience. And on that basis, on that count, I would like to say, since has been a pressure for me, and it is really a privilege for me to work in this company, and with my retirement, I am no longer a young guy. These are all very young. Yeah? So the future of this company lies in their hands. And I would like to say that with my retirement, the board will redesignate Tan Sri Abdul Wahid Omar, who is here, as the new chairman of the company. Tan Sri is known to me. He was also in the government as a minister as well. We served in the same cabinet when he was there. Tan Sri brings a wealth of experience, not only as a minister, but he was leading a lot of listed companies as well in his time. So with the experiences that he has gotten, and now that he has joined the board as chairman, I'm sure this company will be in very good hands into the future, especially applying standards like governance, the highest standards in governance, integrity, and performance. Before I mention that I have deep appreciation and full confidence of the future of the company, I like to just ask Tan Sri Wahid to say a few words to you as the new chairman.
Well, thank you, Tan Sri Peter. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good afternoon, everyone. Let me begin by thanking Tan Sri and fellow board members for their trust in me to take on the chairmanship upon the conclusion of this AGM. Of course, it's also subject to your re-election of me as a director as well. Now, I must say that it's been a privilege to serve on the board over the past 4.5 months. And since then, I've witnessed how Tan Sri Peter Chin has been an exemplary chairman in managing the board something for me to actually follow through on. And of course, we have great management in place. Thank you to Dato' Lee and the management team for leading this company. And as the new incoming chair, I look forward to working very closely with fellow board members and management team led by Dato' Lee. And I do look forward to adding value to the company and ultimately to the shareholders too. So with that, again, thank you for your trust in me. Truly honored and truly privileged. Thank you.
Say a few words.
Yeah, Dato' Lee also wants to say a few words.
Yeah, please. So I would like to speak on behalf of the management. So firstly, about Tan Sri Peter Chin. So as he has said earlier, so he took over at a pivotal moment in the company's history. So for a long time, the founder has been Tan Sri Lee Chin Ching has been the executive chairman of the IOI Corporation. And so in 2019, 6 years ago, so when he passed away, so the board has unanimously elected Tan Sri Peter Chin to be the new non-executive chairman of the board. So this is this of course is a new chapter for the history of the board of the company. I must say that since then, I think we at least for the management and myself, so we find that in spite of actually Tan Sri's very enormous experience in the government sector and the public sector, so he still he has a very accommodating and neat style, and also he's a man of great humility. So he has I think chaired the board meetings very well, and outside the meetings also interacted very well with the management. I think I am confident that I speak behalf of all the management members and maybe the board also, that he has been much respected and also importantly much loved by all the people in the company. So it's quite sad that he wanted to step down after 11 years on the board. So we have to accept his wishes, and we wish him very best in the future. Happy retirement, Tan Sri. And also for Tan Sri Wahid, being hopefully subject to today's election, being the new non-executive. So we will have independent non-executive chairman in Tan Sri Wahid, if everything goes well. So his corporate experience as the CEO of actually very large companies such as Telecom Malaysia and Maybank, the largest market cap company on Bursa for many years as CEO. So certainly it's of value, and also very I would say quite many has been in the corporate sector, but he has a very unique experience of serving in the government as well, at a high level as a minister as well. And also I would say a bit unusual in that after serving as 3 years, he actually voluntarily stepped down from the government. And of course the last 5 years in Bursa, 5 years. So last 5 years, because he was the chairman of the Bursa Malaysia. So Bursa Malaysia is of course a regulator of all the public listed companies. So of course with his wealth of corporate experience, so even in the short time of 4.5 months, so Tan Sri Wahid has already given us quite a number of good suggestions. So going forward, I believe that with his stint and experience in Bursa Malaysia, so the board and the management will be scrutinized very meticulously with our corporate governance practice. So it also give me a bit of pressure, but I welcome the pressure. So thank you very much. And so with that, I would like to welcome Tan Sri Wahid to the board also.
Yeah. Thank you, Dato' Lee. I apologize if we have taken too much time from this, the process of this AGM. Now I shall allocate additional 5 more minutes for shareholders who have yet to cast your votes to do so now. We anticipate that it will take another 5 minutes for the conclusion of the voting session, for the counting of votes and the validation of the results. The meeting will resume upon receiving the poll results duly verified by our independent scrutineers. So ladies and gentlemen, 5-minute countdown starts now. If you have yet to cast your votes for the resolutions tabled at this AGM, please proceed to do so. Thank you very much, and see you a bit later.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for participating in today's meeting and voting procedure. The poll administrator for today's voting is boardroom share registrars, and representatives from the scrutineers will also be present to monitor the polling process. As this is a hybrid meeting, voting will be conducted via an online platform that allows both physical and virtual attendees to cast their votes using their own smartphones or tablets, or at designated polling kiosks if you are unable to use your personal device. Physical attendees should scan the QR code provided on their instruction slip, while virtual attendees may access the meeting and voting platform via the link sent to their registered email. Enter the 12-digit meeting ID shown on your screen to join the meeting. Review and accept the terms and conditions. Log in using your username and password as shown on your instruction slip. To vote, navigate to the voting tab on the left side of the screen, or at the bottom of the screen if you are using a smartphone. The resolutions and voting choices will be displayed. Select your voting direction from the options shown on the screen, for or against. A confirmation message will appear once your vote is received. If you wish to cancel your vote, please press cancel. To change your vote, simply select another direction. If you are unable to use your smartphone or tablet to vote, you may proceed to the polling kiosk area to cast your vote. Present your personalized voting instruction slip with the 2D barcode issued during registration. At the polling kiosk, scan the 2D barcode. Your details, the resolutions, and the voting choices will be displayed on the screen. Select your voting direction from the options shown on the screen, for or against. If you wish to cancel your vote, please press Clear All. To change your vote, simply select another direction. Once you have selected your voting direction, click Next. Your voting summary will appear, and press the Submit button to submit your votes. A confirmation message will appear to show your vote has been received. Voting will commence once the chairman declares the poll open. You may cast your vote at any time until the voting session ends. If you require assistance, for physical attendees you may approach any usher station throughout the venue, while virtual attendees can contact the boardroom help desk at 0378904700 or email us at bsr.helpdesk@boardroomlimited.com. Thank you and have a pleasant day.
In a world where nature's bounty grows in abundance, one precious commodity shines above all, endlessly versatile, universally applicable, touching every corner of our daily lives, closely intertwined with our most basic needs, intrinsic to our nourishment and sustenance. This is palm oil. We are IOI, birthed in 1982 from an unrelenting zeal, humility, and commitment. We have continued to excel with palm oil as the heart of our company. We have grown to be one of the largest vertically integrated and sustainable palm oil players in the world. Driven by a relentless pursuit of excellence and an unyielding passion towards efficiency, we are poised and future-ready. We stand firmly on our core values of integrity, commitment, team spirit, cost efficiency, innovation, and excellence in execution. We believe that innovation in agriculture is crucial for sustained growth. Armed with over 30 years of research and developments on high-yielding planting materials and a commitment to advancing agricultural science, we are known as one of the industry's high-yielding and most efficient palm oil producers. We are trailblazers in biotechnological innovations in palm oil. Our IOI Palm Biotech is a leading tissue culture facility producing superior high-yielding oil palm clonal planting materials. We continue to adopt more technological innovations to enhance our yield and increase efficiency in crop evacuation. Our advancement in automation and digitalization propel us forward, further enriching our operations. Our drive for more efficient use of resources lies behind our commitment to integrating a sustainable approach throughout the business. As a founding member of the Roundtable of Sustainable Palm Oil, we are leading the way in adhering to the highest standards for sustainable palm oil production, and we strive to sustain a globally traceable, reliable, and sustainable palm oil supply chain. Our drive to progress beyond conventional boundaries has led us to become the nation's first organic palm oil producer, requiring innovative new production processes using organic fertilizers. We have adopted numerous ways to reduce carbon emissions, minimize waste, and enhance energy efficiency. We have long regarded the utilization of palm-based biomass for value-added applications as an essential activity within the circular economy through our renewables business. Beyond our palm wood venture, we are exploring ways to minimize our environmental impact. We have introduced our group-wide Climate Change Action Initiative as our long-term plan to decarbonize our operations and invest in green infrastructures within our operating units. We are on track towards reaching our group-wide net zero target by 2040. Our resource-based manufacturing business, comprising the refining, oleochemical, and specialty oils and fats segments, plays an important role in fortifying our integrated palm value chain. We are the pioneer and one of the world's largest palm-based fatty acid and esters producers. At our state-of-the-art refining and oleochemical sites in Malaysia and Germany, we consistently deliver superior and quality products to our customers across more than 80 countries. We also own a portfolio of patents in pharmaceutical applications that underscore our dedication to innovation. Hand in hand, we work together with our trusted partners to create innovative personal care and pharmaceutical ingredients and solutions for our customers. Through our joint venture partner Bangi, we also produce specialty oils and fats for the global food and nutrition industries, with operations in Malaysia, the Netherlands, USA, and the People's Republic of China. Embedding digitalization and automation in our resource-based manufacturing processes is in line with the Fourth Industrial Revolution's aspiration. We will continue to embrace innovation, utilize cutting-edge technology, and produce more innovative ingredients and solutions. Our people are the foundation of IOI's success. With a value-centric and inclusive culture, we strive to cultivate excellence in our talents and encourage diverse leadership. Prioritizing employee welfare is a cornerstone of our organizational ethos, providing a conducive work environment that extends beyond office walls. We have gone above and beyond to provide best-in-class benefits such as housing and other essential amenities. Our passion for human development is illustrated through our dedication to enriching lives through our charitable foundation. Our IOI Foundation supports education by building schools and providing scholarships and driving various community welfare initiatives. Our consistent efforts in sustainability and good management practices have won us numerous accolades and recognitions. With unwavering determination, we are transforming into a global sustainable palm-based and natural ingredients company, focusing on agricultural science and innovation. Together with our employees, customers, and partners, we will meet future challenges, exceed expectations, and continue to provide products and services of superior value. In a world fueled and sustained by palm oil, we are proud custodians of this vision and take pride in responsible, resilient stewardship of this prized commodity, palm oil. As we chart a course into the future, IOI's extensive expertise, our vibrant culture of innovation, and our unparalleled portfolio of products will continue to propel us forward. We are IOI. In a world where nature's bounty grows in abundance, one precious commodity shines above all, endlessly versatile, universally applicable, touching every corner of our daily lives, closely intertwined with our most basic needs, intrinsic to our nourishment and sustenance. This is palm oil. We are IOI, birthed in 1982 from an unrelenting zeal, humility, and commitment. We have continued to excel with palm oil as the heart of our company. We have grown to be one of the largest vertically integrated and sustainable palm oil players in the world. Driven by a relentless pursuit of excellence and an unyielding passion towards efficiency, we are poised and future-ready. We stand firmly on our core values of integrity, commitment, team spirit, cost efficiency, innovation,
on the screen. Right.
Okay. Yeah. Resolution 1, we have 5.4 billion shares voted for, representing 95%, versus against 4%. Resolution 2, 99.9% for, and negligible in terms of percentage against. Resolution 3, 99.9%, and with the against 0.0078%. Resolution 4, 99.9% for, and also again 0.009%. Resolution 5, 99.85% for, and with 0.14% against. Resolution 6, we have 70% for, and with 29% against. Resolution 7, we have 99.9% voted for, with 0.09% against. And lastly, Resolution 8, 99.98% for, and with 0.012% against.
Ladies and gentlemen, based on the poll, results of the poll, I hereby declare that all ordinary resolutions for today's meeting are duly carried. With that, our hybrid 56 AGM comes to a close. On behalf of the board, I thank all of you for your attendance and participation at today's meeting, whether in person or online. I now officially declare the conclusion of the 56th AGM. I wish you all a pleasant day ahead. Thank you.